He woke up feeling totally stuck, trapped right inside his own house. Poor Ikoma got the boot from the hero squad just for being a thief. He couldn't believe it. His old buddies were superstars while he was left behind. Right then, a monster alarm started blaring. Ikoma figured he had this, but he got knocked out with one hit. But wait, he used his thief skills to swipe a legendary item. The Divine Pocket Watch lets you rewind time 10 years, and he said yes. Just like that, Ikoma was young again. Now rocking a legendary class, he is crushing monsters faster than any other student. Our story kicks off with a nervous guy asking what his friend said. He thought it was a prank. They had finally hit S-rank status together. The poor guy just couldn't wrap his head around why this was happening. With a dead serious look, his partner told him he would spell it out again since he didn't get it. Then the man shouted his full name, Ikoma Ichinos. To his absolute shock, they told him he was out of the sword team. 15 years before this, strange portals started popping up all around the globe. These gates were doorways to magical realms that started spitting out scary monsters. At the same time, some folks started waking up with game-like stats to fight back. This new group of superpowered people was sent to close those portals. Everyone knew them as hunters. Someone was reading text in a very strange, ancient-looking script. Meanwhile, he was checking his system. Hunters get to pick whatever class they want. But some jobs, like being mages, are super slow with spells and hard to manage, so they don't survive long. The kid wasn't quite sure which path to take yet, so he chose the rogue class for agility, hoping to level up and get stronger. He saw something surprising. His little plan actually worked. He racked up experience fast, becoming a top-tier hunter called the Swift Blade. Portals kept causing chaos everywhere. Suddenly, a massive, majestic wing appeared. It was a beast that looked exactly like a legendary griffin. He started fighting on the front lines, honestly, thinking he would be a hero forever. But then his leader told him they wanted him off the team. Totally stunned, Ikoma asked why. The leader was losing his cool, asking if he really had no idea. He insisted that our hero knew the real reason why. Monsters grew stronger while his team's attacks failed, and he was a terrible support. Our main man clenched his fist, trying hard to keep his cool. The guy told him that while rogues have speed, that is old school thinking. He claimed nobody picks rogues anymore since mages do way more damage at level 1. Furthermore, the guild decided to demote him so Ikoma wouldn't die in high-level portals. Our hero tried to argue, admitting that he knew he wasn't perfect. Even so, he had put his life on the line for the squad. He reminded them that nobody can distract and poison monsters as well as him. Their eyes met for a long, quiet moment. The leader smiled, noting his spirit remained. Please keep going. Ikoma was confused. His friend just smirked and walked away. The verdict was final. He was officially off the team. He stood frozen while his leader walked into the distance. Our hero remained still, failing to grasp the situation completely. Later, he sat amidst a mess of bottles and trash. Tears fell as he sat there clutching a small lighter. He realized then that being a hunter was his life, even without any fame or glory. He truly believed his hard work would matter someday. Flicking ash, he saw this as the only reward left. He remembered feeling like he was never quite good enough. He spent every cent on gear, leaving his pockets totally empty. Now demoted from S-rank, high-level portals were strictly off limits. Suddenly, a notification popped up on his smartphone screen. The glorious sword team had conquered their mission in China. They cleared the Taudi Palace, a feat everyone called impossible. The whole world was cheering for their incredible new victory. Our hero just sat there watching the news in silence. He scrolled through the live chat discussing the big event. People wondered where he went, calling him useless dead weight. Furious, he snapped and threw his phone against the wall. Why choose the rogue life-selling gear could save him? But letting go of his team wasn't that easy, unfortunately. He started sobbing, shouting about everything he had sacrificed lately. Collapsing down, he realized he had absolutely nothing left now. Suddenly, a loud emergency alert made him jump in surprise. An S-rank beast appeared in the middle of Tokyo City. Everyone was told to run, making him feel extremely anxious. Sadly, the glorious sword team was still far away overseas. No local hunters could handle a monster of that caliber, and he knew he couldn't face it alone either. Looking at his gear, he felt a spark of hope. A massive armored dragon suddenly appeared in the bright sky. He rushed out, thankful he hadn't sold his equipment yet. Meet Kronos, the space-time dragon. He is a real nightmare. He told himself this would be a legendary final act. Nervous but ready, he declared the final battle had begun. The dragon roared, making the very earth shatter and rise. He charged forward with everything he had left in him. He had to stall for time until the pros arrived. With a shout, he leaped toward the terrifying beast. Kronos lunged back, ready to deliver a crushing physical blow. His heart sank. The dragon was too fast. His dagger broke. Our hero scrambled to get out of the way. Phew, he actually made it. But then, boom, a giant explosion rocked the ground right behind him. Talk about a power trip. That dragon roared again, eyeing its helpless target. Ikoma knew one thing for sure: getting any closer would mean he is toast. He swung his double-bladed Hydra scythe, but it did not even leave a scratch. He was definitely starting to feel a major case of the jitters. Turns out it is immune to poison. Then Kronos lunged with those massive claws. Thanks to his quick feet, Ikoma just barely managed to slip away. It was not easy, though. He knew this plan was going nowhere fast. Good thing he is a rogue, or he would be history. Now he is trapped. This was his big shot. He started spinning his bladed rope like crazy. With a mighty heave, he launched it right at his scaly enemy. It is the Kleptoclaw. Maybe this monster has some sweet loot on him. He just needed one lucky item to turn this whole disaster around. His eyes lit up even as those giant talons came swinging in. That hit was brutal. It completely trashed his gear in one single swipe. Despite the pain, he just chuckled. Looks like the end of the line. Battered and bruised in the dirt, he wondered if his story ended here. Everything was going blurry. He had spent his life saving people, and now this. Was this really the big finale he had worked so hard for? He whispered that he would give anything for a chance to start over. Wait, what is this? The Kleptoclaw actually snagged something before the crash. Score, he just landed an epic item called the Divine Pocket Watch. This baby can send you back 10 years. Talk about a lucky break. He was totally floored. A real-life 10-year rewind. Is this for real? Still hurting, our hero asked again if this thing would actually work. He noticed the dragon was coming back for a second helping. Ioma saw the strike coming. No time for questions, only action. Mustering every single ounce of energy he had left in his body, he gripped the watch and yelled. That monster's paw was inches away. A claw struck home, and suddenly everything started to fade into black. Then out of nowhere, he heard a loud racket. What's going on? He opened his eyes and realized he was lying on his bedroom floor. He was holding an alarm clock that said it was the year 2030, 8 a.m. on a Friday. Ikoma was confused. Was that all a dream? He pulled back the curtains, and our former S-rank hunter was absolutely floored. He checked his phone, and yep, the calendar was from 10 years ago. Then it hit him. That Divine Pocket Watch actually did the trick. He opened his status window, and wow, he did not have a class yet. This was the real deal. He had officially traveled back to the start. He flashed a little grin. This time, everything was going to be different. He made a promise. Right then, he would become the greatest hunter ever. On the news, a man reported that casualties were rising everywhere. He warned everyone to stay far away from those dangerous portals. Brushing his teeth, our hero watched the report. The monsters were getting stronger. Deploying powerless civilians would only lead to a total bloodbath. Ikoma confirmed that Old Watch really sent him back 10 years. The world eventually stopped arguing about why this was happening. Everyone realized that learning to fight was the only way out. Having tomorrow's news today is the ultimate cheat code, right? Only he knew the secret spots for massive experience and legendary loot. But first he had to choose his official starting class. Reaching level 10 was tough, since rookie-friendly portals were super rare. The guild strictly controlled every uncleared dungeon left in town. He found himself grinding in a low-level F-rank goblin den. One more kill for level 6. Suddenly, a stranger joined the fray. The man chuckled. He asked if the kid was hurt, while Ikoma wondered who this weirdo was. He warned that a solo run here was basically suicide. Goblins are puny alone, but deadly in a pack. Hi, I'm Kenji, a level 16 greatsword user who protects rookies from certain doom. They call him the tutorial guy. Meanwhile, in his head, Ikoma figured this man must have way too much free time. Since hunters never retire, Kenji saw this as easy side cash. Our hero was totally drained, wondering how he got stuck here. Finally, he cheered loudly because he had reached level 10. The system pinged, level up achieved, plus 2 shiny skill points. Kenji gave him a massive backslap celebrating the big level 10. As for him, he thanked him while Kenji predicted Ikoma would become a superstar. Secretly, the boy was already aiming for the legendary S rank. Kenji offered help picking a class, acting like a proud big brother. Every class has unique abilities that cost those precious skill points. The veterans suggested swordsman so they could be blade buddies. Since he was quick, rogue seemed perfect, yet the boy still hadn't made a move. Kenji asked if he was confused about using skill points. Did no one teach the kid about the 2 must-have starter skills? Light steps and fortitude are vital for boosting a hunter's stats. They're essential because most rookies have 0 defense at the start. Since his goal was to be the strongest hunter ever, basic skills were a waste. He only needed one specific talent, as he chose. Kenji panicked, yelling that damage resistance skills are totally worthless, especially fall damage resistance. When would he ever use that? Ding, the system confirmed he acquired fall damage resistance. The old man asked if he was scared of heights and begged him to rethink. Kenji was utterly stunned. The protagonist dumped 10 more points into level 2, defying logic. He evolved it to level 3, 15 points down the drain. He sighed, baffled that I'd dump everything into fall resistance. He said I only had 2 paths, now pick a sword or live as a civilian. But I just grinned and told him there was another way. He looked totally stunned. Right then and there, I officially became a Gravity Master. This secret class only unlocks if you spend every point from levels 1 through 10 on falling defense. For a long time, nobody even knew it existed because the requirements to unlock it were so weird. Even after discovery, few picked it since controlling gravity is a massive challenge for anyone. But they forgot one thing: I used to be an S-rank hunter. I know this is the best class possible. The old man started yelling for me to stop. He was worried because this choice would basically turn me into a squishy mage. He begged me to pick a swordsman instead, but I told him this is exactly my goal. Just like that, the system confirmed my new class and gave me powers to control weight. Seeing the plan work, I couldn't help but celebrate a little bit. I cheered out loud that I was finally a mage at last. This time I'll reach S-rank and never have to deal with that old humiliation again. Kenji still looked pretty nervous as he watched his new rookie friend. He called out to me, trying to explain that the mage class really isn't as amazing as I might think. He explained that mages are fragile and have a much higher chance of not making it. He even kindly suggested that I might want to reconsider being a hunter altogether. I just noted to myself that it's natural for people to think other classes are better. Suddenly the guy jumped and started yelling, asking what was going on. A level 17 Red Hood Goblin had just appeared out of nowhere. He was shaking, unable to believe such a high-level monster spawned in a beginner area. It began chasing a female hunter, so Kenji rushed in to help her escape. But mentally, he admitted he didn't have the skills for tough fights, which is why he stays here. Every other hunter here is level 10 or lower. There's nobody else to stop that beast. Feeling super stressed, he suddenly remembered me standing there. He ran forward with his sword, shouting that he'd try to handle the goblin himself. Even I was surprised by the Red Hood. I figured Kenji's level should be enough to win. However, the poor man was just blocking while the goblin attacked him without stopping. It was clear he had zero experience fighting monsters that were actually stronger than him. The old man started shouting, asking if any hunters level 15 or higher could help out. People asked if he wasn't level 16, but he admitted he couldn't face anything that tough. I told myself I probably shouldn't offer to jump in. After all, that monster was way too powerful for me to handle. I couldn't even see its movements, and one hit would probably end me instantly, making things worse. Besides not knowing my new skills, a Gravity Master has low stats, but I remembered how he helped me and felt worried. I realized it would be pretty terrible to just let a nice guy like Kenji die. So I grabbed my sword and told myself that I've always loved a challenge. Time to see if I can overcome my new class's weaknesses. Terrified, the man cried out that the boy's level was way too low. Plus, mages are fragile in close combat, and that beast could end him instantly. Ignoring the danger, our cheerful hero called out to the beast. The angry monster glared while the boy tested his gravity skills. He truly believed this was the ultimate class for his journey. This was his big second chance, and he wouldn't flee from such weaklings. Dashing forward with total confidence. If he ran picking, this class was pointless. The veteran yelled for him to escape as the monster struck. Usually mages have zero physical strength, making them quite easy targets. They're always stuck hiding behind beefier hunters just to stay safe. But as a Gravity Master, he can hack his own physical stats. So, he manipulated gravity, cutting it in half to slip past the attack. Kenji was baffled, wondering how a rookie could move that fast. Our hero noted that reducing gravity turns him into a speed demon. He can only move straight, but predicting the enemy makes it work. The beast lunged once more, but the young hunter danced around it effortlessly. Having fought thousands of monsters as a rogue, this beast was nothing. The veteran was stunned a low-level mage could hit so hard. By mastering mana and his unique class, a Gravity Master can actually rival the strongest physical warriors. These low-level mobs have predictable patterns, making them simple to beat. It's all about boosting your speed at the right moment. Kenji was speechless. Then the kid suddenly shouted for his help. He told the man to finish the beast, and Kenji charged. The boy distracted the monster while the veteran prepared a heavy strike. With a cheerful grin, Alma playfully asked the beast why it dared turn its back. Using gravity magic, he froze the goblin solid, paralyzing it instantly. Right above it, the old man was ready to end this. One clean strike landed, earning the boy 2 quick level ups. Seeing the goblin fall, Aoma let out a sigh of relief. This proved he could become the greatest hunter in history. Bystanders were shocked. A total rookie could take down a Red Hood. He made a difficult fight look like a walk in the park. Kenji realized Alma's speed was insane for such a low level. He couldn't believe the kid didn't realize how amazing he was. Nervous, he muttered that the rookie had some decent talent. Who was this kid? Suddenly, the boy felt a sharp pang. He leaned on a rock, gasping for some air. He'd burned all his mana and needed more skill practice. Looking over with a smile, the old man seemed genuinely happy they both survived. He thanked the boy and even offered him a piggyback ride. Ikoma felt a bit sheepish, but he finally accepted. The portal was crowded with people, but only our hero, who just became a hunter 3 days ago, stepped up to help. The man thanked him silently for helping him find his lost courage. Fear had kept him stuck hunting low-level mobs. But it was time to quit being the tutorial guy and walk like a total winner. Meanwhile, Kenji felt honored to witness a hero's birth. He thanked our protagonist again for showing his Gravity Master potential. Now his main goal was leveling up. However, solo grinding is risky and slow. He really needed a reliable partner. The receptionist had never even heard of a gravity class. She wondered if a kid with such low stats could really survive. Ikoma switched gears and asked if any parties were looking for members. She said yes, there was one group that accepted any class or level. A bit nervous, the boy asked for an introduction. She warned that his mage class and low attributes might cause rejection. He knew rare classes were often misunderstood and hard to handle, so he already expected some trouble getting accepted. Our hero asked for their contact info to try and settle things. Suddenly a jerk appeared, claiming the boy was bothering the staff and should just leave. Ioma asked who he was. The guy laughed, saying everyone should know him. He was Kakeru from the Thunder Knights, a team every hunter knows. The protagonist noticed they only used melee classes. Kakeru sneered, yeah, because mages are totally useless. He called them cowards who are too scared to face monsters. He claimed they weren't real hunters and told the kid to research better classes next time. On top of that, he mocked the boy's trash stats for giving rare classes a bad reputation. Our hero calmly asked if he had a rare class. Kakeru bragged and pointed his sword, telling the boy to witness true power. Raising his blade, he summoned lightning. He claimed this was the ultimate class with the best possible attributes. The crowd gasped, never having seen such a flashy class. Kakeru beamed with pride at all the attention. The attendant warned against using skills indoors, but Kakeru just brushed her off. With a smug look, he told the boy to stay away, calling it arrogant for a weakling to even want a team. While the big shot bragged, our hero was busy analyzing the Thunder Knights' actual potential. They deal decent damage, but their basic moves are useless in complex fights. He'd be in major trouble against fast or lightning-resistant monsters. Meanwhile, several people gossiped about mages being useless and the boy's desperate team hunt. Others just looked at Kakeru with pure envy for his flashy class. Back then, portals were still mysteries, so Ikoma wasn't too surprised. He'd almost forgotten how poorly mages were once treated. Everyone thought raw stats and flashy skills were the only things that mattered. It looked like he'd have to embrace the solo grind. The kind attendant told him he shouldn't be so hard on himself. Our hero thanked her. He apologized for asking and decided to handle things alone for now. The man suggested he rethink being a hunter entirely. He didn't want to find a corpse later. Ikoma thanked him politely. Kakeru watched him leave, then headed to the guild's archive room. Building trust takes time, so joining temporary parties wasn't an option. So, he needed a reliable partner or someone with perfect class synergy. But before finding teammates, he had to level up and make a name for himself. Crushing the Red Hood proved his gravity powers were truly legit. Was it time to tackle a portal with high-level monsters? The level 25 Temple of Statues looked like the perfect choice. Guild-managed portals are great training grounds for hungry hunters. The legendary Stone Knight was the undisputed king of that dungeon. It was the ultimate payday for any low-level hunter. Defeating that boss would finally get him noticed by top teams. Entry is allowed even if you're under the recommended level. He could safely grind monsters right near the entrance. Ikoma closed the book, feeling ready for the challenge. He'd grind the temple first, then find a dream team. Deep inside a dungeon, someone was sprinting down the stairs. Covered in wounds, he cried out that this was totally impossible. Suddenly, his foot caught something. He fell screaming in terror as a massive shadow loomed over him. A blood-soaked stone monster appeared, leaving the attendant in shock. A level 12 wanting to enter the Temple of Statues alone. Our hero pointed out that he wasn't breaking any rules. She was worried sick, fearing he was on a suicide mission. After all, that place was meant for level 25 hunters. Anything can go wrong once you're inside those dungeon walls. As Ikoma headed out, he promised to just take a quick peek and stay safe. At the portal's edge, he knew big risks meant big rewards. Fighting high-level monsters was becoming his usual specialty. Playing it safe would never get him those sweet levels. One elite kill could send his level soaring instantly. He strolled past ancient statues until one caught his eye. It lunged at his back, trying to catch him off guard. He dodged effortlessly. Nice try, but I saw that coming. Ikoma checked his stats, seeing a level 20 beast ahead, staring down the rocky giant. Our hero felt confident he could take it down. and kept dancing around its swings. Suddenly he found himself backed into a corner. The golem pressed on, so he quickly activated his gravity reduction skill. He slipped away easily and managed to land a solid hit on the creature, but the monster remained totally unscratched. But our main character knew this guy could not finish him. Plus, every weak spot was visible. He then unleashed a flurry of strikes on the statue. After dealing some decent damage, he confessed this might be a tough fight. However, he fully expected such high defensive power from a golem. The rock monster charged at him. Though the fight might drag on, he wanted to try a new idea. Reusing his gravity skill, he skillfully avoided the heavy incoming strike. He then cranked up the weight while aiming his blade at the stone. With one thrust, Ikoma pierced its chest. An eerie red light pulsed from the wound. Just like that, the monster shattered into 2 pieces. He noted that dropping his weight gave him a huge speed boost. Then he used gravity to accelerate his swing for maximum impact. This combo was super effective, just as he hoped. Several levels popped up instantly, and he decided to spend them right away. Checking his menu, he already knew exactly which skill to pick. With limited points, he chose to focus on leveling up his gravity manipulation. He locked in the choice within the system menu. This reached level 2, letting him control the gravity, affecting his own physical body. He felt pretty good about this new upgrade. Now able to guide the flow of force, he saw some great potential here. Regardless, his primary goal for visiting this place was those demon stones. These stones were the actual hearts of the beasts, and acted as proof of his victory. Even with the loot secured, he still had tons of mana remaining. He glanced around, hunting for more targets. Spotting a few more giants, he decided to test his fresh skills on them. Out of nowhere, a bolt of lightning crashed down, shattering a nearby statue. The famous Thunder Knight party was clearing the very same portal. A teammate praised Karu for obliterating the monster with just one hit. A girl noted the stone golems resisted lightning, but his power was just better. One guy yawned, asking if every controlled portal was this boringly simple. Laughing, he complained about slow leveling and wanted to find a much harder dungeon. He crushed a piece of scorched debris under his boot. Curiously, the man stayed completely silent while doing so. A friend asked if he had been a bit mean to that guild rookie, but Kakeru insisted that some people just need to learn their place. The man claimed he saved the boy since the kid was almost killed. He might be blunt, but it was for the kid's own good. Someone had to speak up. His teammate doubted that was his real reason. Boom. A massive crash echoed from nearby. Kakeru gripped his blade, wondering if the beast returned. His pal noted the high ceiling, but our hero didn't think it mattered much. After all, some monsters are just oversized, and that's really all it is. Suddenly, a massive stone titan lumbered right into their path. Both teammates panicked, frantically asking what on earth they were looking at. Kakeru grinned, thrilled that a level 30 statue was finally making things interesting. This guy was definitely a huge step up from the weaklings they fought earlier. His frightened friend insisted they weren't ready to take on a level 30 monstrosity. Looking totally unbothered, Kakeru mentioned he'd been doing some deep thinking lately. He admitted that fighting monsters at his own level was honestly getting too easy. As an elite Thunder Knight, he wanted to test his skills against this statue. The monster raised its giant weapon and smashed the floor into 1,000,000 pieces. His pal asked if he was serious, but Kakeru promised teamwork would save them. Drawing his blade, he noted this guy was big and had a high level, but Stone Knights are basically garden statues, slow, clunky, and honestly kind of dull. Right then the beast lunged. Kakeru barely managed to dive out of the way. A bit worried now, he realized the monster's level gave it a speed boost. Leaping back in, he claimed he could still find its weak spot very easily. He lunged forward, striking the stony giant with his signature electrified lightning blade. His confidence wavered as he realized things were getting a whole lot more complicated. Turns out this thing's rocky defense was way tougher than he had originally anticipated. The Stone Knight raised its sword and unleashed a powerful lightning-fast overhead strike. Activating his special Thunder Knight powers, he prepared to weather the incoming storm. Kakeru thought he could block it, but the statue moved with terrifying sudden speed. Within seconds, he was hit, leaving a nasty gash right across his chest. Crumpled on the floor, he couldn't believe how much power this thing actually had. Terrified, he realized that while his gear was good, this boss was another level. His worried companion cried out, hoping he was still okay after that hit. Shaking with fear, the man warned the team not to underestimate this monster's strength. Before he could finish, the statue was already charging the girl with incredible speed. She barely managed to raise her sword in time to block the crushing blow. Their friend yelled for Karen as she was thrown aside like a rag doll. Then he took a heavy hit to the stomach, even coughing up some blood. Seeing both friends down, Kakeru felt a wave of pure terror wash over him. In a total panic, he started complaining about how everything was going so wrong. Staring up at the Titan, he wondered when it became so terrifyingly intimidating. Gathering his remaining strength, he declared that he was still a special hero. He unleashed a massive lightning attack, pouring every last bit of energy into it. He was absolutely sure that nothing could survive such a powerful, high-voltage blast. But the monster simply caught his sparking blade with its bare, rocky hand. Kakeru stood there, completely frozen, his mind unable to process what just happened. He suddenly remembered the lightning resistance warning, and his hope vanished instantly. The statue easily crushed his sword, leaving him staring at the broken weapon. Desperate to survive, he immediately scrambled backward as fast as he could go. Our once confident hero finally broke down, sobbing uncontrollably in the middle of the dungeon. Oh boy, that massive statue just keeps on coming. Kakeru watches totally stunned as it gets way too close for comfort. It raises that huge blade, and Kakeru is just standing there thinking, okay, this definitely wasn't in the brochure. He cries out that he's really not ready to check out like this today. Right there on the ground sits his trusty sword, now broken in two. Talk about tough luck. That stone knight just looms over him like he's a tiny bug. Shaking like crazy, Kakeru starts begging for a little mercy. He gives a deep bow, practically pleading, please don't turn me into a pancake. He's screaming for a hero. Then out of nowhere, a leg glowing with purple magic appears. Just as the monster lifts its sword, our main guy activates his gravity reduction skill. Talk about timing. And just like that, our stone friend is completely frozen in place for a second. It notices the pause and starts looking around, wondering, hey, who just did that? It spots a purple glow right on its ribs. Landing gracefully nearby is our hero Ikoma. He sighs to himself, figuring that little trick probably wasn't going to finish the job. Surprised, Kakeru asks, wait, aren't you the new mage rookie? But our boy stays cool and silent. Now Kakeru's annoyed. He's yelling, what are you doing? There's no way you can take that thing down. Our hero is already level 16, and honestly, he thinks the hunter might actually have a point. This won't be a walk in the park since that's a level 30 stone knight he's facing. This big guy probably leveled up by snacking on weaker hunters and monsters. Talk about a bad diet. Even so, he has to admit the guy's massive. He was just hoping for a quick stroll and one easy monster, but wouldn't you know it. He never expected a giant. Kakeru yells from the dirt, hey, stop staring and start running. He reminds him that it took them out before they could even land a single hit. Ignoring the guys on the floor, our hero focuses and fires up his gravity reduction again. The stone knight isn't just standing there either, it's getting ready for a huge attack of its own. But wait for it. He zips out of the way. The statue quickly pivots, trying a different move to squash him. The second his feet hit the dirt, Ikoma is already airborne again. He sails right over the blow and brings his sword down hard on that knight's stone head. Down on the ground, Kakeru is just thinking, okay, I seriously can't believe my eyes right now. I mean, how is a low-level rookie mage pulling off these kinds of epic moves? He's actually going toe-to-toe with a monster like that. It's totally wild to watch. Our hero realizes that despite its high level, this big guy is pretty slow. He can totally outrun it. But here's the kicker. He doesn't actually have a move strong enough to finish it off. This stone knight has some serious defense, so his standard attacks are basically just tickling it. Not to mention that massive level gap. Talk about a serious uphill battle. Plus his mana is draining fast with all this gravity stuff. He needs a plan and fast. Suddenly the statue winds up for another massive strike. Cue the dramatic music. As he dodges, Ikoma thinks, okay, this might be a little crazy, but I've got to try something. That giant sword whooshes past him as he narrowly zips out of the way. Kakeru knew it was a long shot, but he was really hoping the kid had a secret weapon. No dice. That gravity reduction skill is a total mana hog, to be honest. But he definitely can't take on the big boys without it. It's a bit of a dilemma. He knows he can't drag this out, so it's time to wrap this up. Another huge slash comes flying in. Our boy dodges again and uses his skill to launch himself high into the air. He starts spinning like a top mid-air to build up some serious momentum. With a sudden shift, he uses gravity to pin the beast's blade. The monster swings a massive fist. Ikoma leaps gracefully, dodging the strike and landing right on the creature's head. Utterly stunned, Kakeru wonders aloud how he can move with such incredible speed, questioning if it's a hidden class ability as our hero takes another hop. He thinks about saving his level 2 manipulation skill for later, but it's now or never. Activating reverse gravity. He suddenly flips upside down, feet stuck to the ceiling. He realizes he can target himself with this skill as the monster looks around. How interesting, he muses, getting ready for a devastating follow-up attack. He figures this height should provide the perfect amount of force. Ready to end this, he triggers a massive gravity increase. Gripping his sword tight, Ikoma notes his weight is skyrocketing. With gravity pulling him down faster, the impact will be legendary. He yells that it's game over and there's no stopping him now. Executing a meteor fall, he cleaves the giant in two as it starts dissolving. Amidst the falling remains, he earns 524 experience points. He jumps from level 16 to 23 in a blink. Scoring 14 skill points, he's thrilled to see his genius plan pay off. Taking down a foe double his level sure makes for some fast growth. With the battle won, Ikoma takes a moment to celebrate. He lands, boosting his fall resistance to level 3 just in time. That landing stung, but he's relieved he prepared that resistance buff beforehand. Meanwhile, Kakeru can only stare in absolute disbelief at the victory. Truly an incredible sight. His lightning failed, yet a mage just soloed a magic-resistant boss. Sheepishly, he asks why Ikoma helped him after his rude behavior earlier. Suddenly, the poor guy panics. Worrying about revenge, he gets jittery until our hero calls out to him. "Can you stand? Are you all right?" Ikoma asks, shocking the nervous boy. He chuckles, realizing he had the wrong idea about the protagonist entirely. Reaching out, he offers a sincere thank you for the life-saving help. Back at the guild, the receptionist is practically shaking with fear. She can't believe a level 30 stone knight actually showed up out there. Even more shocked, she gasps, "Wait, you actually took that thing down?" He simply nods, keeping the details private. "Impossible," she cries until he pulls out the monster's massive demon stone. Does this count as proof? A stone this size definitely belongs to a level 30 high-tier boss. Though it's mind-blowing, she has no choice but to register his achievement. She offers 200,000 yen if he wants to trade it in. He politely declines needing the gem as a trophy of his true strength. Suddenly, Kakeru catches up to him, eager to express his gratitude once again. "I've got an incredible opportunity for you," Kakeru says excitedly. With a grand gesture, he invites him to join the famous Thunder Knights. Nearby hunters are floored that such a top-tier team is recruiting a newbie. Seeing the core, everyone whispers that Ikoma must be truly legendary. Grinning, the fellow exclaims that Lady Luck has finally arrived. He admits favors rarely come his way. Our hero feels slightly awkward. The kid says there is no need for shyness. Sadly, Ikoma politely declines. Kakeru gasps, wondering why he refused. In total shock, he asks if the boy wanted a party. The hero nods but says he has had a change of heart. He simply turns around and walks off, leaving the man speechless. He thinks that if he keeps grinding levels at this speed, he will definitely reach his ultimate goals. The Theater of Maniacal Dreams portal will open soon, holding a rare treasure. Using his past life memories, he will be the first to conquer it. Someone drops mana stones on the counter, asking for a cash payout. Onlookers get nervous. The clerk wonders how he hunts so many beasts alone. She really thought he was a strictly solo player. Ignoring the chatter, the protagonist mentions he has one more request. He asks for an official promotion to D rank. Hunters jump to E rank with classes, but D ranks tackle the real disasters. The clerk notes he needs to hit level 25 first. Ikoma shows his status window. He is already level 26. The receptionist is absolutely floored by his lightning-fast progress. A solo mage reaching such heights so quickly is practically unheard of. She wonders how he leveled up so fast. It feels suspicious. She asks if gravity masters are really that overpowered. Soon after, he celebrates finally securing his shiny new promotion. He now has an epic class plus 10 years of S-rank expertise. Speed leveling might draw eyes, but he has zero time to waste. He must move fast to arrive before the portal opens. D-rank status unlocks more gates and makes finding a party much easier. Most importantly, it grants entry to where that legendary weapon waits. Last time that weapon turned its wielder into a dangerous serial killer. But this time, he will stop that tragedy. He just needs a partner to clear it. He scans the room. A massive team is risky, so a small group is way better. One reliable partner is enough to keep things safe and steady. He specifically needs someone to balance out his gravity-based abilities. He ponders which specific skills will handle the upcoming portal challenges. A solo player who enjoys working together would be the perfect match. He pauses, worrying that his standards might be a bit too high. To find the right person, he must scout every local guild. He realizes he has spent all day trekking between various guild halls. At his fourth stop, he considers lowering his expectations just a bit. Suddenly, someone shouts that their companion is totally useless. A teary-eyed girl begins apologizing. Her teammate snaps that apologies won't fix anything while Ikoma watches the drama. The leader points a finger, coldly firing poor Satsuki on the spot. Satsuki begs for one more chance, but she's met with a cruel rejection. She mocks Satsuki's long cooldowns, calling her magical skills totally worthless. The leader even demands payment for carrying her as dead weight. Satsuki stands there, completely heartbroken and at a total loss for words. Meanwhile, our hero Ikoma has been quietly observing the whole scene. He remembers his own betrayal, but knows he must prioritize his survival. In this world, picking a partner based on pity is a dangerous move. The mean leader laughs, mocking Satsuki's useless sorceress class. She claims the girl is just as pathetic and miserable as her magic. But when she mentions the sorceress class, Ikoma is suddenly very intrigued. Others suggest she quit, but Ikoma knows sorcery pairs perfectly with gravity. She's actually the secret weapon needed to crush the theater portal boss. He starts weighing his options, wondering if he should recruit her. Satsuki notices him watching, so Ikoma steps up to introduce himself. He politely explains he's a D-rank hunter looking for a new team. The leader's eyes light up when she sees his D-rank license. She tries to act charming, offering him the spot Satsuki just left. Suddenly, Ikoma ignores her, cheerfully asking Satsuki to join his group instead. The mean leader stands there, looking totally stunned and confused. Ikoma realizes this sorceress is the golden opportunity he was searching for. She is exactly the missing piece his master plan requires. The leader tries to interfere, but Satsuki is just surprised by the offer. Satsuki hesitates, worried her low-level 20 status will only hinder him. Taking her hand, he promises fast leveling, insisting that he truly needs her help. She calls herself a burden, but he kindly refuses to listen. With her confidence shattered, she considers giving up on being a hunter. Ikoma bows, politely asking her for just one small chance. He vows to help her find the hidden strength she possesses. Touched by his kindness, Satsuki happily agrees to join his group. The ex-leader scoffs, claiming he'll regret choosing such a useless person. Ikoma just smiles, thanking her for the valuable advice. He walks past her, knowing more about hidden classes than anyone else. Now he finally has his perfect new partner by his side. A sorceress can perfectly cover every weakness a Gravity Master has. Together, they'll turn the theater portal into their personal stage. A short while later, the new duo arrives elsewhere. Satsuki still feels unsure, doubting her actual worth as a mage. Ikoma reveals that he's actually a fellow magic user himself. He promises that soon she'll be the strongest hunter in the field. She looks up hopefully, and he gives her a cheerful, reassuring nod. It's time to show the world their true hidden potential. He admits this gate is wild and untamed, giving her the jitters. Ikoma explains they are diving into a level 30+ zone before it even spawns. Shaking, she worries that level requirement is way out of her league. Plus, it is a completely mysterious, undiscovered gate. These mystery gates are dangerous, since nobody has had time to study them. Super anxious, she mentions she is only level 17 with a weak class. But our hero tells her to stay totally calm. He promises to solo everything. Luckily, he memorized every gate record in his previous life. That secret knowledge helped him craft the perfect plan for this dungeon. He confidently claims they will breeze through this portal together. All she needs to do is put her faith in him. Guilt stings a bit, but he has to secure that weapon at any cost. Satsuki wonders how he predicted a dungeon that has not even spawned yet. Ikoma keeps the details vague, but gives her the short version. He credits a rare item, but she is not buying it at all. Predicting a gate so early seems impossible, leaving her totally stunned. Suddenly, every phone blares an alert. She nervously checks her screen for news. Our main character checks his too. People buzz about the alert, especially since it is right near Seiko. Satsuki asks if this was the specific gate he mentioned earlier. He simply notes their mission begins tomorrow, adding that nobody will clear it this week. Defeating the big boss will grant a massive reward. Soon, they are scouting the area while she asks if he is certain. They spot the Ministry of Gate Eradication already busy setting up camp. Suddenly, a woman rushes over to ask if they are licensed hunters. She requests any data on the dungeon layout or monster abilities they find. However, safety comes first, as these unknown gates have claimed many lives already. They assure her the Ministry can rely on their help. Satsuki asks why the boss fight was a secret. He knew she would object. Stepping inside the gate, he warns her this place is unique, noticing her stutter as she admits her fear. He apologizes for asking such a massive favor of her. He promises to handle every single monster by himself. If things get dicey, they will bail fast. She is just terrified of being abandoned. Satsuki vows to try her best, even offering to act as live bait. Ikoma says that is unnecessary, she just needs to focus on her magic. She admits her skills are lacking, but he asks about her mana drain ability. This skill siphons energy from targets, which is perfect for grueling boss fights. Plus, she can transfer that stolen energy directly to her teammates. It is truly the best support for gravity users. With this, our hero can fight indefinitely without worrying about running out of mana. She argues the skill is too slow and inefficient compared to offensive magic. Ikoma silently agrees, assuming one of them was an actual specialist, proclaiming he'll go all out in this fight. He buys her time against a silly clown bear. What a weird opponent. While dodging hits, he cheers for his partner to use her skill. She conjures a shadow ball and lobs it right at the bear. The bear lets out a yelp as the magic hits home. Seeing the monster falter, our hero prepares to spring into action. In a flash, he's already soaring above his fuzzy adversary. Cranking up his gravity, he strikes battle 1. Ikoma readies for more. That was easy. He just banked another 212 experience points. Our girl is shocked to gain 3 levels all at once. Still, she feels a bit guilty for letting him do everything. He kindly assures her they'll need teamwork as they head deeper. They're a team. She wonders if they're truly becoming a real duo. This feels so different compared to her lackluster days with Io. With a cheerful smile, Satsuki resolves to be a big help. Ikoma gently reminds her not to push herself too hard today. He hopes they'll defeat the boss and snag those rare items soon. A man named Kao owned this item in his past life. He used it to become the Portal World's most notorious criminal. That guy won't find her here. Their secret is totally safe. 2 whole days have passed since the theater doors first opened. Elsewhere, a man swings his hammer, but his target dodges easily. The villain laughs, activating a dark skill called Life Eraser. He lands a lethal strike, his blade gleaming with dark victory, as his poor opponent finally collapses to the floor. Kao mocks him, noticing his own level is rising yet again. This psycho thinks these losers give a surprising amount of experience. Hunting humans is easy. He's already reached level 36 now. Back with our heroes, Ikoma is busy using his gravity magic. Our main character summons a mysterious dark orb before him. He slams that creepy jack-in-the-box clown right into the dirt. Shyly, she admits that just supporting him helped her gain levels. Level 22. She feels like he could do this all alone. He insists it's only easy because they haven't met a boss. These monsters are simple. Besides, your sorceress class is totally top tier. She sighs, feeling like she isn't quite that powerful yet. Changing the subject. Satsuki worries about his mana. Is it time to head back? Gravity manipulation really eats through his mana stats, he admits. The guild says to leave when mana hits 50%. With a big grin, he says it's time to test that. A goofy clown goblin suddenly appears right in their path. Ready, he asks, quickly pinning the monster where it stands. He tells her to use mana drain, leaving her totally confused. Trapping monsters to drain their mana is the ultimate energy hack. Once finished, she can trigger her skill to funnel that sweet mana over to our hero. Satsuki nods, trying her best to follow the plan. But she begs him to hide the beast's face. He jokes he'd need a skill for that. With no other choice, she finally activates her monad drain ability on the creature. Our main character cheers her on as she basically loots the poor monster's soul. The beast lay there totally defeated. Satsuki readies herself to pass the energy over, but Ikoma notices her blushing. He tells her to relax and not make it weird. And just like that, the mana starts flowing between the 2 companions. Our guy watches his meter climb from 16 all the way to 25. Satsuki pouts, thinking the exchange rate is kind of a ripoff for all that effort. He just grins, saying they only need 6 more goblins. The poor girl looks horrified. She asks if he's actually serious about hunting even more, but he insists this is the ultimate way to grind. Moments later, he slices a foe. That makes 6. He checks her mana and she confirms she's nearly topped off again. Satsuki actually jumped from level 20 to 22, while Ikoma only gained a single level. Awesome. She's finally feeling the vibe, excited to keep exploring and leveling up together like this. However, Ikoma keeps it real, warning that moving too slow during recovery could be dangerous. Still, he promises that as long as they stay sharp, these monsters won't stand a chance. Checking her status window, Satsuki can't believe how much she's grown in just one day. It's a total 180 from the boring safe portal runs she used to do. Her old guild always played it safe, telling everyone to never fight above their level. This gets our protagonist thinking for a moment as he listens to her story. He stands up, explaining that guilds only say that to keep their hunters safe. But if you want real skills and experience, you've got to take some big risks. She listens intently, and you can see a new determination burning in her eyes. Moments later, they find themselves in a massive cathedral. Satsuki wonders if they're actually going to finish this. Suddenly, he stops in his tracks. They've finally reached the right spot. Pointing to a massive door, he announces the maniacal dream boss is right inside. He reaches for the handle. Proud, they cleared the whole place in just 2 days. Satsuki starts shaking like a leaf, realizing they're actually facing the big bad now. She's never even seen a boss up close, and her nerves are totally shot. He notices her trembling and asks if she's getting cold feet. He tells her it's totally fine if she wants to turn back, but she refuses. She remembers Aoi calling her a quitter, and she's done with that. She brushes off the negative thoughts, refocusing her mind on the task at hand. She's tired of being the girl who runs away when things get tough. This time, she wants to be a real partner and help him win no matter what. Seeing her grit, he gives a proud smile. Now that's the spirit he cheers. He promises her that together, they're going to crush this boss into the dirt. Satsuki still feels a bit uneasy, asking if his plan is truly enough to win. He pushes the doors open, telling her to trust the process and stay calm. With her sorceress powers, this boss is a walk in the park. They enter the darkness. Suddenly, a chilling laugh echoes through the shadows, catching them both off guard. Standing right before them was the maniacal clown, a level 35 big boss. Satsuki is totally shaking, calling it the portal boss, while Ikoma just observes the giant monster. But deep down, it seems like defeating this boss is the key. He can finally grab that legendary item he always wanted in his past life. He tells her they've got this, so follow the plan as a shadow appears nearby. Turns out Cal was secretly watching them the whole time. That psycho just smiles, thinking this will be way easier than he first expected. The giant clown starts waving its hands around while laughing like a total lunatic. Our hero signals his partner, and they both charge right at the boss together. He plans to be the bait, while Satsuki hangs back at a safe distance. Bosses have tons of health and heal fast, so a head-on fight is pretty much impossible. That's exactly why they'll need to use some clever tricks to win. Meanwhile, the boss starts charging up a glowing ball of light in its hands. It hurls the orb at them, but Ikoma quickly activates his gravity reduction skill. He spots it just a meter away, making it super easy to dodge the blast. On the other side, Satsuki gets ready and fires off her mana drain ability. Just like that, she starts draining the boss's energy from behind. But the monster senses her, and with just one look, Satsuki is completely paralyzed. Our hero shouts out, telling her she needs to run for her life right now. He warns her that the boss is about to use its deadly teleport attack. He explains that once the spell is cast, there's absolutely no stopping it. He tells her to head for the center, just as the clown's eye begins to glow. Satsuki feels a chill as the giant monster's shadow looms right behind her. The boss is right in her face, charging up a massive fireball in its mouth. It fires at her, but our hero jumps in, shouting that he's still in the fight. The creepy monster just keeps laughing like a total madman. On the bright side, Ikoma manages to blow away that fiery attack. Watching him, Satsuki realizes just how insanely fast that attack really was. Our hero decides to back off for a second, leaping behind the clown's back again. The boss's eye glows once more as it spins around to face its opponent. It uses its teleport skill to pop up right in front of our main guy. Ikoma gets worried, realizing it used the same skill twice. The clown closes in for the kill. Worried sick, the girl screams his name, but surprisingly, he triggers a gravity reversal, causing a massive explosion to rock the room. The monster just keeps on laughing, not really getting what just happened. Surprise. Our hero is hanging upside down, but the boss's eye glows a third time. He admits it's tougher than he thought, but hey, everything is still going to plan. The girl remembers asking him if they were ever actually going to attack the boss. But our hero tells her this boss is way too fast with its magic spells. If they try to approach it slowly, they'll basically be turned into toast. And if they stay back, it'll just teleport right into their personal space. But don't worry, because this monster actually has one major critical flaw. Back in the heat of battle, Satsuki fires up her mana drain ability once again. The clown glares at her, its eyes widening as it spots a perfect opening. Terrified, she realizes she's too close and even Ikoma might not be able to save her. Finally, our hero thinks. The boss raises a hand to strike. Poor Satsuki just closes her eyes, totally lost in the moment. But the magic fails. With a grin, he says, the boss is out of mana. Those flashy flames and teleports really burned through its energy reserves. Without its tricks, this clown is toast. It turns tail and tries to bolt. Not so fast. Ikoma launches himself skyward for a massive meteor fall. Bullseye. He lands a heavy blow right on the boss's head. He taunts the monster. It can't even walk without burning through precious skills. Satsuki follows up with a shadow orb, making the beast howl in agony. And so he cranks up the gravity, crushing the boss instantly. This portal guardian is finally history. Almanet's 1,043 experience points, hitting level 30. His partner is over the moon about their big victory. What's the plan? She asks. He says they should head out before the gate closes. Satsuki starts worrying about being stuck inside forever. He tells her to relax. They've got 12 hours and the area is totally clear. She blushes, feeling a little embarrassed. Suddenly, the clown's remains begin to shimmer. Satsuki is baffled, but our guy knows he just hit the jackpot. There it is, the ultimate boss drop, the legendary clown's blade. It's the perfect gear for a gravity master. Basically, a legal cheat code. She asks if this was his secret target all along. It adds 11 attack power while cutting down casting time and mana costs. Satsuki thinks the stats look average, but he knows better. It's a game changer. Music. He explains that the raw damage is just the cherry on top. What really matters is that incredible special effect. For skill-heavy builds, this item is an absolute beast that skyrockets your power. Gravity Masters usually struggle with long cooldowns and massive mana drains. This blade perfectly patches up every single weakness. Satsuki is stunned. In his past life, a hunter used this to reach high ranks. Sadly, that guy became a notorious hunter-killing criminal. By grabbing it now, he's actually saving lives in the future. Meanwhile, Satsuki keeps eyeing the new sword. She gets quiet, realizing he won't have any flaws left. Panicking, she asks if he'll just dump her now that he's overpowered. He laughs and says he still needs her mana support. Want to keep helping me? Staring at the blade, she agrees, though she seems a bit competitive. He's totally confused, while she fumes, declaring herself in a new competition. Time to spend those hard-earned skill points from his level up. To reach the peak, he's going all in on exclusive Gravity Master arts. After carefully weighing his options for a while, he levels up his gravitational magic to rank 2. Then he boosts his manipulation to rank 3. Our hero realizes he's unlocked a brand new skill gravity bullet. He admits he relied on tricks before, but this item makes magic easy. Our protagonist is super excited and wants to test every single skill. Suddenly, a stranger appears, casually mentioning he arrived a little late. Kao says, "It looks like the boy already defeated the boss solo." With a creepy grin, he notes that Ikoma seems surprisingly powerful. Feeling a bit uneasy, our hero thinks this isn't the best timing. He notices the guy used stealth to watch the fight, likely waiting for them to die. He reminds himself he saw plenty of this behavior in his past life. He asks who the man is, while taking a much closer look. Right then he realizes that this guy's face is actually very familiar. It is Kao, the infamous blade stealer, who turned hunters into prey. He wonders how this is possible. Ikoma remembers this guy reached the portal much later in his past life. Terrified, our hero wonders what that psycho is doing here, then he understands. The creep was hiding in the boss room just to snatch the loot. Kao likely waited for the winner to tire out before attacking. Satsuki asks him what is wrong. Eyeing the sword, he asks if that is the loot from the boss. He asks for a look, and our hero politely offers it up. Mentally, the villain calls him a fool. He thinks they're naive, planning to kill the guy and toy with the girl. Approaching them, the psycho says they should be much more careful. He reaches out his hand as his eyes flare a sinister red. Drawing a dagger, he uses Life Eraser, but our hero quickly dodges. Kao turns around hyped, but Ikoma is already swinging his sword. Despite his speed, the assassin manages to evade the surprise attack. In an instant, the protagonist realizes he has lost him. He wanted a preemptive strike, but the guy is just way too fast. While his friend trembles, he admits Kao is much stronger than them. The killer finds this weird and asks how the boy predicted him. After all, he really thought the kid was a fool. But it turns out the kid is sharper than he imagined. Satsuki asks what's up, but he warns her he's a hunter-killer. He explains that as an assassin, the guy is fast and stealthy. Kao wonders how the boy figured everything out so quickly. Dropping the act, he says it saves him trouble. Hand it over. He promises he will spare them both. Our hero gets serious, noting dungeon crimes leave no evidence behind. So he doesn't believe for a second they're walking away alive. Kao goes silent for a beat before breaking into a grin. He likes it. The kid is smart and brave despite being weak. Gearing up, he says he wants to see our hero in hell. On the other hand, Ikoma doesn't blink for a moment, but our hero knows he's in trouble. This nightmare killer once wiped out scores of elite hunters. The monster who wielded the legendary clown's blade in his past life. He admits he never expected this creep to be hiding inside the portal. After one clash, he realizes this boss is no joke. Satsuki cries out. Suddenly, our hero yells for her to stay safe behind him right now. He knows assassins are lightning fast and deal massive damage during an ambush. So listen, that killer will target her since sorceresses are squishy support classes. He tells her to stay back and leave this messy fight to him. Mentally, our hero knows soloing this guy is tough, but he won't let Satsuki hurt. Beyond raw power, this guy has years of deadly fighting experience. Most importantly, he doesn't want the girl to witness such twisted evil. He quickly activates gravity reduction again. Their blades collide, even with a rare item our hero's hands shake. Kao admits the kid is surprisingly talented with swords, but he warns that the boy likely lacks the heart of a killer. Throwing Ikoma off balance, the villain smirks and makes a chilling claim. He boasts about his massive body count and says he'll never lose. Kao thinks everyone usually panics, but our hero is ready for round 2. He claims people usually buckle under pressure, making fatal mistakes in battle. He gets a bit nervous when a sharp blade passes dangerously close. That's when he notices that this kid isn't showing any fear at all. In fact, the boy seems to read every move with ease. Karu is losing it. No way a low-level rookie is pressuring him. Meanwhile, a worried Satsuki watches the intense showdown from the sidelines. She realizes her friend isn't just book-smart, he's a beast in combat. Thinking to himself, Ikoma is so glad he grabbed that special blade just in time. It cuts his cooldowns, letting him flip gravity settings like a pro. Without it, he'd never survive those heavy attacks for long. He'd be out of mana too, but then Kawaru screams that playtime is over. The villain puffs out his cheeks, ready to show his true colors. Gross, he spits out a hidden poison needle right at our hero. Luckily, our hero sees it coming and swats it away like a fly. The assassin is spooked, screaming that this shouldn't be possible. While he's still dazed, he sees our hero charging in for more. He tries to dodge, but Ikoma predicts it and scratches his cheek. Furious, the killer yells about the kid's luck and strikes back. Kao vows it won't happen again, while Ikoma stays perfectly calm. He activates his life eraser skill to finally end this fight. But our hero flips the script, cranking gravity up to the max. The killer's blade falls and he's frozen in place by pure pain. Our hero explains that the guy was aiming right for his neck. Wow, talk about a surprise. Our villain is baffled, wondering how he got read so easily. Ikoma points out that being so basic makes your steps super easy to read. My friend. Plus he adds that if he were in those shoes, he'd never use that move here. Suddenly Satsuki gets ready to unleash some magic. She tosses a shadow sphere. Kao spots the sneak attack, zooming in from behind. He trips up a bit, only to see our hero raising his blade for the finish. Our hero slashes quickly, leaving a stinging mark right across the villain's cheek. The assassin begins yelling, worried sick about his poor eye. As he clutches his face, he can't believe this kid actually tagged him. Observing closely, our hero realizes he's not just keeping up with the guy's moves, but also countering his tricks by boosting his own speed with gravity magic. The big catch. His mana is running low. That boss fight really drained his batteries. If he hits 0, it's game over for everyone. Charging forward, Kao vows that this little game ends right now. He grabs his dagger again. The assassin shakes off his nerves, grumbling about why this kid is such a tough nut. This boy reads every trick and movement perfectly. Plus, his raw power is no joke. Seeing Ikoma zip back and forth, he realizes something is definitely off here. He spots Ikoma aiming straight for his vulnerable blind spot. He uses shadow steps to evade, while poor Ikoma starts sweating over his low energy. He swings for another quick strike. Kao admits the kid is winning, yet senses a strange air of desperation nearby. Suddenly, he chuckles happy he let the boy do the heavy lifting with the boss. He shouts that our hero is actually pretty impressive, saying he could have been a legend if only he survived this encounter. He stomps his foot, letting out a laugh that's a bit too wild. Sadly, he claims that's not happening, promising the boy's journey ends today. The duo watches on, feeling quite nervous about the situation. They keep clashing wildly, but our main character is starting to look pretty tired. Eager to help, Satsuki conjures up another orb of darkness. It flies toward the killer, but he slips away using those pesky shadow steps. Satsuki is shocked he dodged everything. Her mind starts racing with many worried thoughts. She feels like she's just dead weight now. Seeing her friend struggle against such a powerful foe is heartbreaking. She notices that despite his skill, the pressure from the assassin is becoming overwhelming. The creep keeps shouting about how much he loves this. Clashing blades, he laughs that it's rare to find such a thrilling life or death match. He invites them to savor every second of this fight while they still can. Ikoma swings again, but our villainous friend is just too slippery to catch. Our hero is definitely starting to feel the heat and the nerves. Using his sword for leverage, the boy attempts a crafty kick to land a hit. He nails him right on the chin. The guy is fuming, but quickly jumps back. Kao grumbles that this kid has way too many tricks up his sleeve. Mentally, using gravity reduction, he floats like a leaf while landing heavy hits. With those light feet, he's basically impossible to catch. But oh no, the villain notices his mana bar is almost empty. The creep just laughs, thinking Ikoma's burning his last buffs to survive. He figures once the mana hits 0, it's game over for the kid. Looks like your batteries are dying, kiddo, the assassin sneers. And so, he lunges back in, attacking from every single angle. Mid-clash. Ikoma realizes he's on his last drop of mana, one final move. Ikoma leaps high, leaving Kao totally baffled. Wait, how's he doing that? He stares up, wondering if the kid has some secret hidden ability. But the assassin laughs it off. You're a sitting duck up there. Little does he know Ikoma's betting it all on one final gravity shift. It's now or never. He's putting every ounce of effort into this. Gripping his sword, he unleashes a meteor fall, smashing the guy into the dirt. Straining under the incredible weight, Kao panics. No matter how hard he tries, he can't push back. His defenses finally give way under the sheer force. /A massive wound opens across the assassin's chest. Ikoma is wiped out. The system alerts him mana is officially at 0. Satsuki rushes over cheering, "You did it, Ikoma, you actually won?" But the poor guy just mumbles an apology before passing out cold. Plot twist, Kao limps back up bloody and swearing like crazy. "The little brat's totally out of juice now," he growls. Collapsed on the ground, Ikoma gasps, "Satsuki, you have to run." He's hoping his last bit of effort bought her a chance to escape. "Go now. Please just get out of here." Even the bad guy is impressed. Fighting a boss and then him legend, he really pushed himself just to keep the girl safe. How sweet. Satsuki is stunned, her heart breaking for her brave companion. Why protect someone so weak? The psycho mocks, shaking his head. He says he actually admires him, which only makes Ikoma more annoyed. He's even impressed the kid kept his cool. What a weird guy. Satsuki is stuck on those words. Am I really just a burden? Her eyes start to fill with heavy, sad tears. Maybe the creep is right. Maybe she shouldn't be a hunter at all. Without her around, Ikoma probably wouldn't even be in this mess. She remembers him saving her and prays for help. Then, something snaps. Her look totally changes and the air gets super heavy. Oh boy. I'd never give my name to trash like you, Ikoma spits out. Oh, that's a shame. I was actually starting to like you. He declares that Ikoma is the first person he's ever truly respected. I'll never forget that face, he says, raising his dagger to finish it. Suddenly, Satsuki summons a shadow sphere that feels totally different. The assassin senses the danger and scrambles to get away. She promised not to strike, but whack her staff lands a perfectly polite but painful thud. Our hero can only offer a grumpy, silent complaint since he's already quite a mess. Talk about bad luck. She struck right from his total blind spot. She rushes over as Ikoma yells for her to save herself and run away, tapping into his special support skill. Satsuki refuses to flee brave and bold. She initiates a vital mana transfer instead. Power surges back into him, leaving the assassin completely baffled by the sudden glow. The villain just stands there, unable to process this unexpected turn of events. You're first, he screams, desperately triggering his deadly life eraser skill in a total panic. Ikoma stares back with total indifference. No fear here, just a very polite no thanks. Our protagonist gives a quick shout out to his partner for that clutch life-saving assist. Standing tall, he blocks the blow while his mana levels begin to refill nicely. Kau panics. Did his enemy really recharge that massive skill already? Talk about a quick cooldown. That's just cheating, the guy mutters, definitely feeling the pressure of the situation. But Ikoma just smiles. They were a dream team long before the ambush even started. Furthermore, he's fully charged while Kau is a wreck. Now let's see who's really the boss. He lunges. The frantic psycho tries to wiggle away, looking pretty scared for his life. No openings. Ikoma turns up the heat, getting faster and stronger with every passing second. Desperate, the villain summons a spooky red circle, doubling down on his dark magic. Satsuki squares her shoulders, ready to face the attack like a total pro. I've got this, Ikoma says, surprising everyone by summoning some heavy-duty gravity magic. He mocks his foe's slow casting speed, recalling a handy trick from his past life. Back then, he used the Jester's Blade to fix that pesky casting delay. How nostalgic. Kau watches in horror, realizing his time has officially run out. A massive swirling black sphere, just like a mini black hole, comes roaring forward. Boom, game over. Kau can't believe a low-level kid just totally wrecked his whole career. Ikoma stands victorious among the rubble, while the villain finally takes a dirt nap. Turns out the government is still figuring out the legal rules for portal incidents. So the Ministry of Monster Eradication usually just looks the other way. Very convenient. A don't ask, don't tell policy became the standard for these weird unspoken cases. But with Satsuki watching, Ikoma decides to be a polite citizen and report the guy. He sends Satsuki to call the authorities, and she's happy to help out. Since cleared portals are monster-free zones, it's a perfectly safe walk for the girl. While Kau groans in the dirt, Ikoma keeps a very watchful eye on him. He takes a long, tired breath, thinking, wow, I really judged that kid by his level. Who is this mysterious pro? A little later, the duo is chilling at a cafe when a serial killer arrested alert pops up, glancing at his phone. He sees the ministry nabbed Kau. Satsuki notes the agents were surprisingly quiet. Ikoma explains that proving portal crimes is basically a legal nightmare for the police. Unless it's an open and shut case, the ministry usually stays out of the drama. All this portal chaos and the new security measures really changed the whole nation. Surprisingly, crime rates started dropping as the government stepped up their game. Huge corporations began hogging resources just in case. Sudden social shifts made poverty skyrocket everywhere. Sadly, the state offered zero public assistance. Portals are lawless, but meeting a murderer was terrifying. Is she really afraid? Hunters always face these dangerous, scary situations. Watching her, he knew things were tough. There are other jobs besides hunting, you know? Satsuki admitted she was actually quite terrified. He thanked her. She loved being his partner. Despite future dangers, she chose to stay nearby. She beamed at him. If that is your wish, shaking hands, he said he would count on her. He saw kindness. She saw her own naivety. Life felt overwhelming lately. She rarely helped anyone before this. Ayo disliked her, and she hated herself too. She hoped to level up her very soul. Even so, she asked to keep hunting together. Ikoma smiled, thinking she was truly sweet. Still, he felt awkward. She was much chattier than he ever imagined. Two strangers were whispering and pointing nearby. A lady asked if they were the heroes, the ones who cleared that boss so fast. Suddenly, the whole cafe was getting crowded. Utsunomiya said they were famous guild stars now. He checked his phone. Every blog was talking about their epic victory. A viral video showed their mysterious boss fight. Anonymity did not matter. Still, everyone was buzzing about their great deeds. He yelled that they would be legends one day. They both cringed slightly. "I am not leaving until I join you." Then Aoi arrived and started scolding him instantly. She smiled, glad to finally find Satsuki. She apologized, holding Satsuki's hands. She missed her friend and regretted being mean. That previous breakup was painful for everyone. Aoi beamed brightly. "How much gold and levels did you gain? I can always count on you." Satsuki grabbed Ikoma and fled the growing crowd. Aoi and Utsunomiya kept pleading desperately, begging them to stay put. Still, they just walked right past a car, leaving them behind. Satsuki wondered if Aoi was his pal while he asked if she was really sure. With a chilly vibe, Satsuki declared that girl definitely wasn't her friend. She couldn't believe how many views those viral videos were racking up. A video of a rookie hunter fighting an assassin had millions of views. Satsuki explained that fans just love watching crazy portal footage these days. But Ikoma felt it was risky since creators only care about clicks and cash. She looked totally shocked, asking if she should just unsubscribe from all those hunter channels now. A phone screen showed they had hit over 1 million views this month. Meanwhile, Hosa spotted news about the mysterious rookie who stopped to kill her. She grumbled that his video was way more popular than her latest post. A knight noted how viral clips blow up. Hosa decided she'd go viral next. She couldn't believe the hype he got just for clearing one little portal. Hanging with the knights, she made it clear she wasn't a fan. Next we find Ikoma and Satsuki grabbing a seat together indoors. She curiously asks if that cool weapon he mentioned is actually for her. Ikoma agrees, saying hunting boss monsters is the fastest way to level up. He emphasizes that having a top-tier weapon is the key. Pricey gear is a must to boost an enchanter's low-damage stats. He suggests finding a profitable portal, but Satsuki tries to politely decline. She says he shouldn't work so hard for her and offers an apology, but Ikoma just smiles reassuringly. No need for that strong weapon for his partner helps them both. Her eyes start sparkling like stars the moment he calls her his partner. She's totally thrilled, happily repeating that they really are partners now. He worries she's a bit too innocent and wants to keep her safe. Satsuki asks where on earth they can find a portal like that. He points to his tablet, revealing he's already picked out their next target. Their destination is none other than the legendary tomb of the ancient king. It's a fresh, untouched spot with a massive chance for epic loot. While he types away on his computer, rare portals are hidden gems and nobody knows this tomb is one yet. Akuma knows this because he memorized every portal detail in his past life. Selling items from here will be a gold mine, and he needs the cash. Plus, this place is packed with rare gear like that fancy sword shown there. There's no competition here, so they can loot everything at their own pace. Satsuki catches Ikoma chuckling in a very peculiar way. Next stop, they arrive at the entrance of the spooky ancient tomb. Stepping cautiously through the thick, eerie mist, Satsuki looks back nervously, but Ikoma pushes on until a skeleton appears. Ikoma activates his skill, crushing the enemy with a heavy gravity field. He slashes the skeleton with lightning speed as Satsuki watches in awe. Satsuki's impressed. Our guy Ikoma really knows his way around a fight. Ikoma points out that simple swings won't stop these spooky undead creeps. He asks his teammate to back him up with some long-distance magic. She's on it. A glowing circle forms while he dives over the baddie. Boom, Satsuki's shadow ball hits that bag of bones right on target. Nice. The system shows Ikoma just earned 240 experience points. The bones poof, leaving a shiny little souvenir behind. Look, Satsuki finds a demon stone and some sweet new loot. Ikoma's feeling lucky finding such a bright, glowing weapon on the floor. She's floored. That item's worth 400,000 yen. He explains that rare gear like this doesn't just grow on trees. It's pricey despite the plain look, so what's our big money goal? We need 3 million yen for a top-tier weapon that'll actually last. Satsuki nearly faints hearing that huge 3 million yen price tag. Easy loot portals are rare, so we have to grind while we can. Hauling all this treasure back and forth is going to take forever. He plans a 3-day marathon of exploring and hauling loot out. Satsuki does the math. That's a cool 1 million yen every day. That's way more than any normal office job she's ever heard of. Wait, do you hear that someone's getting into a scrap nearby? Let's investigate. Up ahead, a knight and Hosa face a dusty mummy. The knight rushes in, giving that mummy a piece of his mind. Go ahead, finish it. Hosa asks her manager if the camera's rolling. Her guard. Also, her manager says action. He tells her to use fire magic. Hosa gets ready, her blade glowing with a spicy, fiery aura. With the lenses zoomed in, she jumps and slashes the mummy with her blazing hot weapon. Easy peasy Hosa downs the monster and it hits the dirt. Hi everyone. She tells her fans she's exploring a fresh portal. She brags about taking it down with just one single swing. She thinks clearing this whole place will be a total breeze. Our duo realizes they've stumbled upon a professional portal streamer. Satsuki recognizes her. She's seen Hosa's channel a few times before. Ikoma isn't impressed. Satsuki knows he's really not into these streamers. He hates how she only cares about getting views and making money. Does she even know how dangerous these portals actually are? Hosa spots them and looks super confused. She starts whining at our duo for ruining her perfect camera angle. Move. You're blocking the shot and killing my viral video potential. Ikoma calls her out for stealing a kill someone else already softened. She shrugs it off as just part of the show. In show business, it's all about the presentation. Skill doesn't matter. Looking cute does. Can we save the footage? Sadly, his manager says there's no way to edit them out. Hosa pouted, complaining that her perfect intro shot was totally ruined by these guys. She asked if they knew her, then introduced herself as portal streamer Hosa Sayonji. Ikoma apologized politely and introduced himself as Ikoma Ichinoi, while Satsuki Kisaragi stepped forward and gave a respectful bow. He explained he never intended to mess up her video shoot. Hosa shrugged it off, saying she was too busy finding new content anyway. Later, Ikoma wondered why anyone would want to be a portal streamer. She looked at him like he was crazy, saying it was obvious. Making a money sign, she said it was all about the cash. Portals bring views, and companies pay big money for those ad spots. Hosa boasted that she'd become a huge celebrity once she got popular. But he warned her that hunting is dangerous and she might get hurt. Raising her voice, she demanded to know what he just said to her. Ikoma warned that these portals are lethal, not a place for games. He added that she'd regret not taking her skills seriously when it mattered. Hosa stayed silent, giving him a cold, intense stare. She fumed that he'd ruined her shot and was now mocking her too. Satsuki felt he was too harsh, but Ikoma called it friendly advice. The manager tried to calm her down quickly, telling her to ignore him. She agreed, calling him a typical hater. Suddenly, to his surprise, she ordered her manager to start filming. Hosa smirked and asked if his name was really Ikoma. She approached, saying he must be very confident to give friendly advice. She challenged him to see who could gather more demon stones, declaring that if she won, he'd have to take it back and apologize. She also promised to film and upload the whole embarrassing defeat. Ikoma noted she'd blur his face and label him a random hater. Hosa finished by promising him anything he wanted if he actually won. Hearing that Ikoma accepted, while a shocked Satsuki cried out, Hosa laughed, calling it a deal and setting a 3-hour deadline. She smiled confidently, warning him not to run away. In the torch-lit hallway, her manager asked why she'd even bother. Hosa imagined the views from a video titled, "Beating a Random Hater." She cheered that this viral hit would make them bank this month. Above all, she really just wanted to teach that guy a lesson. She hated his not-serious comment and vowed to prove him wrong. Ikoma and Satsuki watched a mummified monster stagger toward them. He launched a meteor drop attack, smashing the monster instantly. Ikoma gained 364 XP, hitting level 31 with skill points. He thought to himself that these undead monsters were incredibly slow. He said dodging with reverse gravity was the best way to win. Then he'd finish them off with his gravity increase skill. With a flash, as the beast shattered, a shiny demon stone popped out. Ikoma cheered. They just scored a rare rank D ancient relic gauntlet. Satsuki wondered why he even bothered taking her silly little wager. He admitted he didn't want a viral video of his embarrassing defeat. He confidently claimed victory, hoping she'd finally stop filming inside dangerous portals. Plus, the real issue was the heavy loot. How could they carry it all? The pair marched forward toward a brilliant, glowing light ahead. A massive Sphinx statue blocked them. Was this a total dead end? Suddenly, the Sphinx rumbled to life, its eyes shining with power. Satsuki stared at the awakening statue, totally caught off guard. Boom! The exit slammed shut, trapping them inside the chamber. Trap activated. Ikoma explained that portals are full of nasty surprises. Simple traps are common, but the best ones hide epic treasures. Especially here. Now, the glowing-eyed guardian demanded a test of wits. It vowed to keep questioning them until their knowledge finally ran dry. Fail 3 answers, and it is game over for their very lives. Satsuki nervously asked if this talkative thing was actually a monster. Ikoma warned that a failure meant a fight. It was time to get ready. She looked stunned, but he grinned, telling her to relax. He is a total genius. With a flash of its eyes, the Guardian barked the first riddle. It asked exactly how many experience points are needed for level 10. Ikoma answered instantly, leaving Satsuki standing there with her jaw dropped. Correct. Now he only needed 2 more wins to survive this. He was so glad he studied this stuff in his previous life. Fast forward to question 19th. A beast with 3 heads and 4 legs. Ikoma did not blink. It was obviously the scary doll monster. Chilling by Satsuki, he asked the Sphinx if it wanted to continue. Remember, the rules say you keep asking until I finally fail. Satsuki joked that he should probably throw a round to be nice. The annoyed guardian huffed and spat out the 20th question. It asked which monster leaves behind a gross trail of green slime. Ikoma smirked. No portal. Today actually contains a creature like that. That slime is purely alchemical. He was not falling for a trick question. The Sphinx shrieked in disbelief. 20 out of 20. A perfect score. As the room trembled, the guardian stared at Ikoma in pure awe. According to him, the door opened, leaving the confused statue feeling like a total pushover. He apologized while Satsuki pointed out something hidden inside the statue. Ikoma gasped. It was a legendary rank B storage ring. He grabbed the ring. Admiring the ultra-rare drop, he explained its value to a curious Satsuki. Ikoma noted that to the right person, this was pure gold. It is worth up to 100 million yen. Satsuki was stunned. Finding such a treasure in a low-level portal was a total miracle. He wonders if that sweet bonus was for his perfect score. Flashbacks of the grumpy monster pop into view. Satsuki stresses over the clock and their big bet. He explains the ring makes looting items way faster. Ikoma beams, knowing things are looking up now. He laughs off weak mobs and strikes a skeleton. Turns out these bony guys resist physical hits. He goes melee while Satsuki snipes with magic. Hosa spots the mummies moving at turtle speed. She crushes them easily using her gravity powers. Plus, mummies are perfect mana recharging juice boxes. Ikoma's hyped by the incredible drop rates here. He hit level 33 and scored 2 rare weapons. Time to stash everything in the storage ring. He tells Satsuki they've already bagged 6 demon stones. They've won the bet, but now it's about profit. Ikoma suggests clearing the whole dungeon for cash. Elsewhere, a winded Hosa cheers over 1 kill. She complains about how tough and relentless they are. The knight sighs. 2 kills is way too slow. Normally, they'd be done with this floor already. He mumbles that the competition is likely struggling too. Hosa even considers bribing them to lose on purpose. Her partner snaps tired of her fake video stunts. Ikoma arrives looking totally relaxed and cheerful. He teases Hosa for relaxing on the job. She snaps back, hoping he's actually working hard. She offers to forgive him if he just apologizes. Ikoma just shrugs and opens his loot-filled ring. Hosa screams as legendary loot floods the room. She stands there completely stunned and speechless. Where did all those stones and items come from? Ikoma just gives her a polite, cheeky grin. Stunned, Hosa regrets her silly apology offer. Furious, she storms off to hunt even harder. Satsuki wonders why he's being such a meanie. He's just giving her a little hero's motivation. Satsuki asks why he dislikes gate streamers so much. It's about their lack of respect for the danger. One wrong move in a gate means game over. Hosa treats this like fame, not a serious job. Without real commitment, she's just asking for trouble. Reality hits hard when things actually go south. Hosa desperately needs a miracle to win now. Deep down, she knows the bet is already lost. She'd need to politely convince him to track something else. Her buddy warned they'd pushed too far and lacked mana. She insisted on saving mana for the long hike home. Then she jokingly asked who doubted her pro hunter skills. 8 years ago, the city burned amid screams and explosions. Chaos ruled, then causing many more casualties than we see today. A young Hosa was desperately crying out for help. Both parents were lost to a terrifying high-level orc raid. She fled, gripping the young boy's hand very tightly. People huddled in halls protecting children in tiny, cramped spaces. Onlookers watched the orphaned pair, sitting alone in their grief. She watched a broadcast of ranker Miss Kwan on her phone. Right then, Hosa swore to grow stronger and never feel helpless again. Filming wasn't the original plan, but she truly loved it. She felt happy giving hope to folks terrified of monsters. She never expected to reach that legendary hunter's power level. But she aimed to inspire her viewers with that same kind of encouragement. Determined, she vowed that everyone would finally respect her grind. Just then, she suggested finding a bigger target for some epic footage. She followed a loud noise, hoping for a massive encounter. Luck was on her side as she chased the content. Her buddy cheered while she planned her move. Suddenly, she announced a perfect filming chance had just arrived. A massive golden beast appeared before her. It looked like a pharaoh looming over a fallen survivor. The system identified a level 40 boss from the tomb. Shocking. AB rank boss should never be in this zone. This was out of her league. Someone likely lured it. He urged her to run, forgetting their bet and footage. Hosa agreed, noting the beast couldn't track them through those narrow tunnels. A survivor on the ground begged for someone to save them. Memories of that orc and Miss Kwan flooded her mind. Right then, she finally understood why that message resonated so deeply. She couldn't abandon a person and apologized before charging forward. Her blade clashed against the monster's strike with a ring. She told the survivor to run while she held the line. They thanked her while the pharaoh swung its weapons wildly. Her buddy blocked the hit, claiming those blows were nothing. He cheerfully declared himself to be Hosa's biggest fan, leaving her totally baffled. Our brave manager promised he wasn't running away or leaving her. He confessed he's no fighter but makes for top-tier monster bait. The pharaoh stomped toward them. Panting, she stood her ground to protect her poor fallen boss. He popped a shield that glowed with a super bright blue light. But the beast swung fast. One hit smashed that blue shield into tiny bits. Talk about a shock. Hosa saw this guy was way faster and stronger. Yep, that's boss-level power. She trembled a bit as the big bad guy marched closer. The pharaoh showed off both its weapons like a real pro. Seeing that she felt pretty nervous, suddenly Ikoma showed up to tell her she was being super reckless. A barrier blocked a huge hit. She blinked and found Ikoma holding her. Shocked, she asked how he even got there. He said he returned just in case she pulled a stunt like this. That hunter she saved spilled the beans, making Ikoma sigh in relief. He warned her to take hunting seriously, then reminded her of their bet. If she won, he'd have to take it back and apologize. Grinning slightly, he admitted that she actually won their little wager. While holding her, he said, sorry for doubting her hunter spirit. Ikoma toggled his gravity-down skill and charged the beast Hosa in tow. The monster lunged, but he blocked it like a champ. He used gravity magic to parry the hit and bounce them away safely. Meanwhile, Satsuki tossed a spooky shadow orb right at the boss. Direct hit! The monster got blasted by energy. Satsuki bragged about distracting the beast to help Ikoma out. Her hit did 0 damage, though. He saw his wounded allies and realized he's never the lucky one. Fighting a level 40 undead pharaoh boss. Talk about a bad day. Ikoma knew his blade could boost his cool gravity powers, but honestly, there was no easy way to win this fight. He figured out the odds were definitely not in their favor. Hosa explained she dragged the other 2 hunters into this mess. She wouldn't ditch them, and Ikoma was actually down for the challenge. He told Satsuki to get Hosa's mana bar filled back up. He promised to keep the monster busy while she took a breather. He saw her fire magic and figured she's a swordswoman using spells. He kept thinking it over. Maybe she can heal too. That would really help while he tanks. Thanks to Satsuki, her mana levels finally started to climb back up. Prepping for round 2 now, he remembered that low gravity means high speed but lower hitting power. Ikoma zipped around happy he only had to dodge for the moment. Power level 3300 just needed to keep those feet moving. He had to admit this guy's level was way out of his league. But with his gravity powers, he figured he'd be too slippery to catch. The injured hunter offered to help, and Ikoma gave a cheerful nod. He leaped away, noting the boss was huge fast and had way too many arms. Suddenly, the beast slammed the ground with some serious power. The pharaoh blinked, while Ikoma thought, wow, that was one speedy punch. He wondered if that was the monster's ultimate super move. He knew he'd have to stay sharp to avoid getting squashed. Meanwhile, our fallen hunter wondered if he was still in one piece, still chilling on the floor. He checked on Hosa and realized the party was still going strong. The beast charged, but Ikoma zoomed over it, leaving the hunter totally amazed. He couldn't believe his eyes. How was Ikoma moving that fast? While fumbling for his camera, he saw Ikoma literally running up the monster's arm. With a quick dash, he headed straight for the big guy. The knight filmed the scene, shouting, now that's what I call a masterpiece. Ikoma realized his gravity tricks made him light, but his hits were feeling soft. And another thing. This boss was way above his solo pay grade, but he had a plan. Suddenly, Satsuki and Hosa teamed up for a quick mana recharge. That's more like it, Hosa cheered, casting her best healing spell. She flashed a bright smile. All right, let's get back in the game. Satsuki took the back line, and Ikoma felt they finally had a real chance. But still, he knew they were still the underdogs in this fight. If this dragged on, they'd be toast against such a high-level boss. Ikoma faced the pharaoh, who swung repeatedly but kept hitting thin air. He started scanning the room for any handy tools. Suddenly, Small Fry appeared. Satsuki yelled, watch out, you're getting mobbed. So Ikoma tapped a nearby statue and made it light as a feather. Then he tossed that heavy rock right at the pharaoh's face. He shouted to Satsuki, go for the mask, that's the target. She nodded immediately, her sword glowing with a cool blue energy. She fired off a dark energy blast that hit the monster dead center. When the smoke cleared, the pharaoh's eyes were finally exposed. Satsuki frowned. No damage, you've got to be kidding me. But now they knew the mask was just a shield for the face. Moving fast, Hosa slipped into the blind spot while dodging some scary-looking swings. She hung in there, though dodging 4 arms was definitely a workout. Getting close was tough, even with the whole team backing her up. She wondered, how on earth does Ikoma do this all by himself? Then he called out to her with a new plan. Hosa, blast that mask. I'll keep this big guy busy for you. He explained his gear was perfect for cracking open some heavy armor. Osha gave a quick nod and powered up her blade, making it glow. Still, she wondered if our hero could really handle this massive boss. He vaulted into the air, perfectly positioning himself right above the pharaoh. Those 4 arms were the real problem. Tie them up and the monster's grounded. Once those limbs were stuck, it'd be open season for some damage. So without wasting a second, he cranked up his gravity skills to pin the big guy down. He focused his power on the arms, leaving the torso open for a strike. With its shoulders locked tight, those giant arms weren't breaking free. Ikoma thought, good thing this guy has so many extra limbs to grab. Watching the boss struggle in his grip, he prepared for the finale. Meanwhile, Hosa locked on, knowing this was her golden chance to strike. She let it rip, firing a massive energy beam at the monster's face. Talk about a bullseye. The undead king took the blast right on the chin. That golden mask shattered like a plate, finally showing what was underneath. Yikes. The face reveal showed way too many eyes and a deformed mouth. They stared in awe. Ikoma grinned. Now that's a weak spot. Hosa, on the other hand, looked like she'd just seen a ghost. Ikoma charged in, ready to finish this while the boss was tied up. Then he flipped the gravity switch in an instant, soaring up to dodge a swing while the floor beneath him exploded. He baited the monster's final attack, waiting for the perfect moment to counter. He knew this move would force the big guy to duck low, leaving its most vulnerable spot wide open for the final blow. Game over, buddy, he shouted, dropping the hammer for the win. He triggered his meteor fall skill in a flash of brilliant light, coming down like a ton of bricks right on the pharaoh's head. Grinning, Ikoma checked his loot and saw that sweet level up notification. Over on the side, Hosa helped the fallen while one guy just watched. Suddenly, a magical glow started rising from the monster's defeated remains. And Satsuki spotted a shiny new weapon, quickly checking its amazing stats. Ikoma just handed the gear over to Satsuki like it was nothing. This is perfect for you, plus it saves us some serious gold. Satsuki blinked, totally shocked. Wait, for real, I can really keep this. He reminded her of her help, then made sure Hosa got loot too. Hosa just waved him off with a smile, saying not to worry. After all, he'd just saved all their lives from that creepy mummy. She handed over the demon stone, but had one tiny little request. Hosa wanted to cancel their bet, but he reminded her she won. He admitted she was a top-tier hunter and apologized for his attitude. Hosa was floored by his kindness, while the others shared a smile. Then he joked about quitting streaming, which nearly gave Satsuki a heart attack. While the warrior said hunting doesn't pay, Ikoma knew the truth. He remembered that Hosa's family was going through a really rough patch. She was busy raising 5 little siblings all by herself. Hosa quickly hushed the chatty knight, who wouldn't stop venting about the difficulties of supporting her entire family. Ikoma offered a sincere apology for making those rude early assumptions. She insisted she loved her job, definitely don't get the wrong idea. Hosa explained her only goal was making people smile because portals are just so scary. Ikoma grinned and promised he'd give his full support. Surprised and blushing, Hosa stood there in total silence. Our main crew soon met with some officials. Later, Hosa nervously checked her camera's condition, praying it was still functioning correctly. That expensive high-speed tech was her life, so she hoped it wasn't broken. Luckily, a teammate confirmed the camera gear was still working perfectly. Even so, the others complained they barely survived that portal with absolutely zero loot or usable footage. Hosa wondered if they should have claimed the boss monster's rare demon stone, but she'd never accept anything given out of pure pity. She begged them repeatedly to find just one useful shot on the recording. Suddenly, the footage revealed Ikoma looking like an absolute beast, back at the local Hunters Guild Marima branch office. Ikoma relaxed with a book, while Satsuki browsed through her phone's apps. "Hey, you've got to see this," she shouted excitedly. Ikoma argued that training beats watching random videos any day. It is better to get real advice directly from the experts. The screen read, "The legendary Supreme Hunter finally appears with his face." Hosa's video of his epic monster battle was currently going viral with views. Fans were obsessed with his insane speed and coolness in the heat of battle. He gave a tiny proud smirk. Those reward points were all thanks to the video, and an ecstatic Satsuki announced that they had hit 1 million views in 24 hours. Meanwhile, Hosa was celebrating her massive viral hit, all alone in her very quiet room. She pumped her fist with pure joy. Yes, she cheered right as Ikoma's name popped up on her phone screen. Wow, he called back incredibly fast. She answered, recalling they'd swapped phone numbers earlier to exchange some vital info. Her heart sank when he demanded, "How dare you post a video of me?" Fearing his anger, she considered deleting it. But Ikoma remembered how hard she worked to support her family during those tough times. He then said it. Didn't matter at all. He just noticed it. Talk about a huge relief. She quickly mentioned that the video was getting a crazy amount of views. Grinning, she jokingly suggested they should go on a portal date next time. Click Hosa noticed the call had already ended, just like that. Satsuki teased him about the abrupt ending, but Ikoma decided to play it cool. Ikoma realized that as his levels soared higher and higher, he might finally have enough time for things that truly mattered. His eye was set on the legendary Ring of Wisdom that once seemed totally impossible. With a tight grip on his dreams, he felt ready to rewrite his very fate. Just then, the clerk gestures to the monitor, proving Ikoma hit level 36. It seems he finally gathered all the power he needed. Our hero officially reaches C rank and receives some well-earned praise. With the paperwork finished, the duo heads away from the counter. Satsuki gushes over his lightning-fast progress, and he politely hopes she levels up soon too. In the background, the staff member stares in awe at a growth rate that defies all logic. Ikoma knows his secret weapon is simply having a lifetime of pro tips. He notes that hunting big-shot bosses is the ultimate shortcut to success. A little later, Satsuki calls him a top-tier C ranker and vows to catch up to his greatness. He confidently announces he will hit B rank before the month even ends. Satsuki looks a bit worried about such a bold claim, wondering if he is overdoing it since even elite guilds lack such talent. Finally, Ikoma admits he is actually hunting for a very special treasure. It is hidden deep within a high-tier dungeon known as the Library of Illusions. The entrance fee he needs to reach B rank first. He describes an undefeated boss waiting inside that portal, holding the Ring of Wisdom he craves. Satsuki wonders how he knows the loot table. She asks if this relates to his past secrets, and he gives a nod. He suggests that this mystical ring holds the key to why the gates appeared, leaving Satsuki completely floored by its massive significance. He reveals the artifact vanished in his previous life before researchers could study it. He recalls how geniuses once used it to track the origin of the portals. Even though ranking up so fast is nearly impossible, he is determined to grab it. He mentions this is a personal quest for him, giving her an out. Satsuki insists on helping since he is her savior. Being useful to him makes her smile, and he offers his sincere thanks. Still, she worries about hitting B rank before the deadline as his official raid stats need to be perfect. He smiles, promising he has a clever strategy ready to go. So, they set out to crush some dungeon records and make some waves. Quickly, they encounter a level 32 red troll boss. With one swift strike, Ikoma takes the beast down. Then Satsuki handles a level 30 mermaid chief with ease. A level 36 arachnid ogre gets smashed by a meteor. Satsuki hits level 35. She is stunned. They cleared 3 entire gates in just 2 weeks. Even if these bosses weren't top tier, she is shocked by how simple it felt. He agrees it's usually harder. He explains these low-level monsters have predictable moves and weak skills. He then lets her in on a secret. He knows every easy dungeon in the city and has the ultimate list. He pulls out a digital portal map. He reveals 5 cleared level 30+ portals on his phone screen. At the front desk, the receptionist beams at Aoma's incredible clearing record. She can barely believe his amazing progress. The staff explains the tough B rank evaluation takes a few days for processing. Suddenly, a buff man named Mr. Ukami appears. He scoffs, wondering why a young kid is even chasing B-rank status. Ikoma tilts his head and asks if he is guild staff. He spots the crest on his chest. It turns out, top hunters sign exclusive contracts to help manage the guild. The grumpy hunter starts pestering the poor receptionist. These contract hunters handle portal safety and give professional advice. They respond to crises and suggest improvements for the whole organization. They wield massive power in the guild. Ukami thinks Ikoma reaching B rank is a total joke, obviously. However, the clerk notes Ikoma is level 40 with many mid-tier clears. Shocked. Ukami wonders if he actually beat boss monsters during their intense stare-down. The man recalls it took 7 years to become this branch's solo B rank. Pondering this, he wonders how this rookie could possibly match his level. Seeing that grumpy face, Ikoma knows this guy will be trouble. Ukami looms over him, doubting a kid could ever be B rank. The teen knows getting approved at the Mima branch might be tough. Still, he cannot quit since he must apply at his local hometown. Thinking of Satsuki's kind support, he vows to stand his ground. With that, he asks Ukami for a legitimate reason to block his promotion request. The hunter scoffs that B rank is not for rookies playing games. He aggressively asks if Ikoma even takes hunter work seriously. Answer me now. Bystanders watch the drama, whisper gossiping about the scene. They sigh that Ukami is bullying again. Ikoma counters, asking how many hunters reached B rank at age 17. Baffled, Ukami barks back, asking what kind of nonsense that is. Ioma mentions the 15 years since the gates first opened up. He notes 6 17-year-olds have already earned their B rank status. By that logic, should none of them have been promoted either? He meets the requirements and demands a fair answer despite his age. Stuck for words, Ukami retreats slightly, muttering that gate rules are not always perfect. He argues that the guild must listen to experienced veteran hunters, but Ioma replies that rules are based on data, not feelings. He stares him down, asking if that is not the guild policy. The receptionist nods quickly. She dives into crunching data on her screen. Satsuki notes Ikoma's logic beats even veteran hunters here. Crowd whispers, while Ukami stands there totally speechless. Calling it a bold move, he plots sweet revenge. He vows to make the new guy regret everything. He checks the level 38 gravity user's official stats. He asks the receptionist about this mysterious class. Never heard of it, it must be super rare. Ikoma figures it's likely just a typical mage build. Maybe a pro carry helped him level up fast. Ukami plays nice, admitting he was slightly too harsh. Finally, he agrees, but only with one very specific condition. Prove your rank B skills in the training hall. They head over to the signposted training area. The spectators are buzzing with excitement while waiting. Win the fight, get the promotion. Simple right. Lose and it's game over. People whisper rumors. Apparently he's nearly finished opponents off before. The crowd thinks Ikoma is in serious trouble. Ukami just loves using duels to blow off steam. Satsuki looks worried while Ukami glares with pure spite. Checking the levels. It's level 38 versus his level 47. Thinking he's only fighting a mage. He assumes the kid got boosted by some pro. I'm a beast warrior. My stats are totally insane. He grins, ready to crush the kid's hunter dreams. He's totally convinced he's just naturally superior. Ikoma pulls up his holographic menu like a pro. Ukami thinks he's prepping for a direct brawl. Better safe than sorry, let's buff Ioma's gravity magic. 25 points go straight into level 4 gravity. Time for a sweet physical stat boost. He'd rather focus purely on raw magical power. But no choice, Ukami starts trash-talking him again. He mocks the kid for living the easy life. With a snarky tone. He warns about accidents. Ikoma just gives a polite thanks. Show me what you got. Ikoma draws steel. Looking totally locked in. Ukami's ready to show everyone who's the boss. He's smiling, aiming to end Ikoma's career forever. Weapon in hand, he tells Ikoma to start. He's even handicapping himself, no skills needed today. Ikoma stayed quiet, just politely observing the scene. People watched from the balconies, eager for the show. Everyone wondered what crazy thing would happen next. Ukami grinned, sure he'd give his foe a public oops moment. Once the fight started, Ikoma tweaked the local gravity. Ukami thought the kid's attacks would never touch him. He expected the boy to become a total laughingstock. Suddenly, Ikoma lunged. Ukami was left blinking in pure shock. Blocking the hit, he wondered how a low-level guy moved like that. Then, finding Ikoma behind him, he gasped, "Wait, what just happened?" He tried to act cool, thinking he'd just been caught napping. Ukami swung back, determined to reclaim his dignity. Ikoma hovered while Ukami stared up, clutching his blade. Suddenly his legs felt like jelly and he stumbled. His balance was gone and his opponent was already zooming in. A well-placed kick landed right on Ukami's face, ouch. He coughed up some blood, dazed by that polite wallop. Despite the sting, he still tried to swing his sword. But Ikoma's combo was flawless. Was he fighting a cheat code? Far away, someone watched the duel through a screen. They couldn't believe Ikoma was totally winning this. Meanwhile, the crowd whispered, wondering if Ukami was just being nice. Ikoma landed a hit that sent him sliding back. Seeing that speed, Ukami realized he couldn't even reach him. He noticed everyone laughing at his clumsy performance. Ikoma drifted above while he stood there totally frozen. Our hero realized something the other guy hadn't noticed. He explained that the gravity class is basically a life hack. It boosts physical stats way beyond any normal level. Plus, it's perfect for quick duels where mana isn't an issue. He noted that higher levels don't guarantee a win. He remembered Karu had way more real-world combat experience. Those refined moves and that drive to win were everything. Without hesitation, Ikoma lunged forward with his sword. He activated his skill to crank up the gravity. To his surprise, Ukami found the blow felt incredibly heavy. He was fast and powerful, then he just vanished. Right after, Ikoma appeared upside down while the man stared at empty dirt. Next, he was behind Ukami's sword pointed at his back. The boy explained how he dropped the gravity after they clashed. He used the impact to zip right behind his opponent. Spectators were convinced the veteran hunter was totally outclassed by our hero Ikoma. Everyone started cheering for his big win. Satsuki beamed with joy, calling his performance absolutely legendary. Meanwhile, Ukami stood there puzzled, wondering if this was a prank. He refused to lose, whining about being totally humiliated and disrespected. Ikoma then politely asked if he'd finally earned his B-rank promotion. But suddenly, he stopped right in his tracks. Sensing danger, a red aura, Ukami lunged out for a surprise attack. He roared at Ikoma, eyes glowing crimson as he activated claws. With a lightning-fast strike, he lashed out with his powered-up claws. The blow landed squarely, forcing Ikoma back a few steps. Our hero admitted he'd let his guard down way too early. He thought it was over, but Ukami was being totally ridiculous. He bragged about using a decoy to hide his true hidden move. Outside the ring, the crowd whispered about what they just saw. Everyone called foul since the match was technically already over. They noted Ukami promised not to use any skills tonight. Still, he stayed furious, despite the crowd's very loud reaction. Naturally, everyone started booing him for being such a loser. Confused, Ikoma asked if the test was still going on. Enraged, Ukami swore to make the boy's life a living nightmare. Ikoma just wanted to know if he'd proven his worth. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Ukami realized losing to a rookie would ruin his reputation. It would destroy his influence within the entire guild hierarchy. So he called the duel useless and denied the promotion. The crowd murmured while Ikoma stood there perfectly still. The judge claimed he was fast but lacked real power. He lied, saying he'd given the boy many easy openings, but claimed the young man failed to take them. Finally, he delivered the bad news. He criticized Ikoma's reaction time for getting hit at all. Spectators whispered that the whole thing was totally rigged. Ukami glared at the critics, making one guy totally flinch. Others warned him not to provoke the man's nasty temper. Just then, Utsunomiya shouted Ukami's name out loud. He asked if he had no shame. Ikoma finally noticed. He called out Ukami for cheating after being dominated. Ukami snapped back, telling the nobody to shut up. Even so, he wasn't backing down. Utsunomiya promised to expose the truth for his good friend. Surprisingly, Ikoma declined questioning why he'd even help him. Satsuki knew he'd won, but things were getting awkward. She wondered why he was acting so distant right now. He simply showed everyone exactly who was truly in charge. He felt a bit guilty for bruising that guy's ego so badly. Maybe he should have gone a little easier on the poor fellow. Well, too late now. Victory didn't change his busy schedule anyway. Suddenly, a friendly voice piped up asking about all the noise. Oh, it was none other than the deputy guildmaster, Serizawa. Looking for me? He asked, wondering what brought him there. He joked about testing a hunter who turned out to be a dud. Serizawa frowned at the fallen man, asking if that was necessary. Hey, accidents happen when you're training hard, right? Ukami just laughed it off, calling the injuries tiny baby scratches. Serizawa just sighed and told him to drop the subject. Ukami then mentioned an urgent matter and headed upstairs with his boss. No time for small fry today, he declared, ending the session. Utsunami whispered that he truly was the guild's strongest power player. Satsuki blinked at Aoma, asking, "So what's our next move, friend?" Scratching his head, he admitted they'd have to find another clever way. The elevator dinged as they finally reached the 13th floor. Did you really have to go that hard on the rookie? Ukami explained he was just teaching an arrogant climber a reality lesson. The deputy master wondered if that kid was actually B-rank material. Rookies these days, they just don't respect their elders at all. Sitting comfortably, Ukami asked what the big secret meeting was about. The main topic was the B-rank Beast Temple Gate at the Morima branch. High-level gates mean big money level-ups and plenty of shiny demon stones. He tapped his tablet to show the latest strange news. It seemed the monsters inside were acting very weird and moving around. But he didn't stop there, keeping the serious tone going. Mana levels were peaking, and safety was now way more important than profit. The evaluator looked over the papers with a knowing smile. He realized Serizawa wanted to close the temple to avoid a disaster. Exactly. The deputy master replied, looking quite relieved he understood. The ministry loves the profit, and even the guild master is hesitant. Everyone was holding back only because Ukami said it was fine. As a veteran, his word usually carried a lot of weight. But Serizawa wasn't convinced, and had a bad feeling about the safety. Therefore, he needed the evaluator to give the boss a fresh second opinion. Is that the real reason you called me up here today? Not yet, Serizawa snapped, hiding his face in his hands, totally stressed out. Suddenly, Ukami held up a report like it was a gold trophy. The gate is fine, he chirped, tossing the data away like trash. However, he rudely stepped on the papers, asking why data even mattered now. With a grin, he insisted his expert instincts were all they needed. He slammed his hand down, vowing he could solo it if things changed. He insisted on zero mishaps since the actual mystery behind gate catastrophes remains totally unsolved. All the while, Serizawa stayed quiet, simply watching. Deep down, he knew their main job was protecting this zone. Suddenly, a slumbering beast wakes up. Ikoma realizes things are getting pretty messy. He starts thinking about Hunter Ukami's rather rude vibe. You see, ranking up can only be requested through your local branch. This means there is no way to skip that hunter for promotion. To enter the Library of Illusions, they need a rank B pro. Satsuki could test elsewhere. But unfortunately, her current level is just way too low. Looks like it is time to brainstorm a clever workaround. Hosa barges in out of nowhere, asking about the grumpy hunter who blocked her advancement. The girl reveals her screen, showing a video of Ikoma standing up to Ukami that a fan recorded and shared. She wants to upload it, titled, Guild Corruption Ukami's Massive Power Trip. She is positive her 120,000 followers will fight this injustice. Ikoma wonders if she is just chasing clout, but she quickly denies it. She genuinely wants to help him back as a thank you for saving her. though she admits a few extra views and some cash wouldn't hurt either. The boy tells her not to post that video yet. He explains that there is still much to learn about these portals. The guild relies on veterans, and public shaming won't change the minds of guys like Ukami. Plus, it would put her right in the crosshairs. Satsuki listens intently. She notices Hosa asking if Ikoma is actually worried about her. Satsuki bluntly asks if the girl has a little crush. Hosa is totally shocked, wondering where that even came from. She claims Ikoma is mysterious and acts way too cool for his own good. Even if he is handsome, she says he is just way too annoying to date. She is strictly worried about him as a savior and her reputation as an idol, watching her closely. Satsuki is caught by Hosa, who asks why she's looking. She acts cool. Suddenly, a notification pings and everyone's eyes fly to the screen. Satsuki reads an emergency alert regarding a rank B disaster in Tokyo. What happened? Hosa shows the feed while Ikoma explains the Kitahana Avenue overflow from the Beast Portal. Our hero notes that overflows happen when monsters invade. We must defeat the boss to seal the rift. He finds this weird since this event never happened in his past life. Is fate shifting? As old memories flood back, he realizes the timeline is straying from his original memories. Hosa remarks that a secure gate has gone haywire. She asks why the guild failed to predict this after years of portal research. The young woman admits she lacks the power to help a rank B raid. She recalls her father needing help. Now many innocent people need her protection right now. With a determined look, she heads out immediately. Ikoma warns us that malfunctioning rank B portals are unpredictable, chaotic nightmares. Right on cue, Ukami confronts a massive beast lurking in the rubble. It reveals itself as a level 34 werewolf hungry for blood. The hunter leaps high, ready to strike with his lethal weapon. He charges forward, shouting that nothing will stand in his way. Secretly, he's terrified this disaster will ruin his reputation in Sarzawa. 2. Bystanders cheer for the hunter, amazed. He finished it so quickly. He scoffs, asking if they have any actually challenging monsters nearby. He claims rank Cs are useless and can't handle this disaster. They've called for backup, but no one knows when help arrives. Ioma warns that a total failure would destroy Ukami's public image. But plot twist, he's actually fought these portal monsters many times. He predicts an easy level 47 Phantom Fox boss encounter. He intends to play hero blaming Sarazawa while stealing the spotlight. The hunter declares it's finally time to eliminate the boss monster. Suddenly, a massive explosion rocks the area as people start screaming. A giant paw stomps down. Is that the boss we expected? Nope. A terrifying multi-headed fox engulfed in spectral flames appears. The witnesses panic. The portal intel didn't mention this freakish creature. It's a level 55 summoner fox, and it's absolutely grotesque to behold. The dungeon boss has evolved into a much more dangerous entity. It has a new form, higher levels, and devastating abilities. Massive mana accumulation turned this portal into a legendary disaster zone. Ukami realizes the situation just went from bad to total catastrophe. Utsunomiya spots that level 55 tag and completely freezes up. Summoner Fox. How can anyone possibly defeat such a powerful high-level creature? Faced with certain death, they agree it's time to retreat immediately. Ukami calls them fools. He won't let his reputation tank today. He arrogantly reminds them he's a top-tier rank B hunter. He claims he's handled plenty of impossible dangers before now. With a sinister look, he suggests the boys play bait so he can finish it. They protest. They wouldn't last 10 seconds acting as monster bait. Furious at their refusal, Ukami decides he'll force their cooperation. He smirks, deciding the boys need a little magical incentive. He casts Berserk, hitting them both with a blast of energy. Cursed red energy wraps around them as they collapse with agonizing, splitting headaches. It's a cruel beast warrior spell rarely used on humans. It boosts their attack while completely destroying their ability to reason. He's used people as bait before. What a truly cold-blooded hunter. He kicks his buddy forward. Talk about a rough start. Next, he politely tells them to attack the monster now. He'll swoop in for the final blow. How clever. He thinks being nice is a mistake in this world. The boys charge in while he watches them from afar. Meanwhile, the monster reveals a creepy eye made of tiny hands. It triggers a poltergeist ability through that spooky eyeball. It moves toward the boys while city debris starts floating. Ukami is stunned. Was that a high-level boss attack? He dives for cover as rubble falls from the sky. The boys are screaming, but he thinks they're just useless. The hunter sees a massive rock hurtling toward his head. He uses his Beast King smash to shatter that rock. He realizes the monster is using some serious telekinesis powers. He's totally outclassed. The fox monster pursues him through ruins. He wonders if the enemy was always this insanely strong. The monster's right behind him. He's really sweating now. He notices its speed and draws his sword to defend. Then the monster charges up another psychic eye attack now. He blocks the flying debris with his gigantic sword. Nice. Blocking the second hit makes things even tougher today. The monster lunges with claws and breaks his guard completely. He hits the dirt, feeling the enemy's overwhelming power now. He thinks fighting this beast is just totally impossible today. He tries to find a way to win, then stops. He activates his false death ability right now. This skill lets him stop his pulse after taking damage. The monster looks at him, senses no pulse, and leaves. With the enemy distracted, Ukami knows he must escape fast. He starts running, but that eye starts glowing again. Uh-oh. The beast catches him with a claw. He's down again. He realizes that eye on its back sees everything clearly. He laments that it's too late. He's totally in despair. The monster prepares its very final and deadly strike now. Dark magic traps him. Is this creature just mocking him? The mist invades his body. He screams in total agony. Finally, Ioma arrives in the city to stop the chaos. Hosa heals a civilian who is shocked to be fine. Ikoma tells the man to run where it is safe. The man says thanks and runs away very quickly now. Hosa starts talking to Ikoma, who looks very thoughtful today. He says they must push forward to contain the mess. The young woman agrees, knowing he is totally right today. She checks her phone. An hour passed and no fix. Ikoma figures the ministry folks should have wrapped up that temple boss fight by now. But man, they are really dragging their feet. Guess it is time to prepare for the absolute worst-case scenario. Ukami suddenly lashes out, leaving the poor lady screaming in total agony. She is completely stunned. Then he triggers Beast Claw, slashing the bald guy deep. Ouch! The man grunts, tightening his grip on his heavy blade. He swings back, his steel ringing loud against Ukami's jagged weapon. Ukami grins like a creep before a heavy blow sends the veteran flying. She screams for Captain Kurokawa, but Ukami just gives a wicked laugh. He jokes that taking down B-rank hunters is harder than it looks. This is no everyday monster mess, it is a full-blown calamity side effect. Honestly, these local squads and hunters are way out of their league here. Chuckling, he charges again while the bald man desperately tries to guard. Ikoma drops in using his cool gravity-defying skills just in time. He slams into Ukami midair, saving the day before anyone gets hurt. Ikoma realizes Ukami is brainwashed by the monster as he starts hissing like crazy. The bald guy yells a warning, "Careful, this dude is no average hunter." Suddenly, Ikoma strikes back with lightning-fast, super smooth movements. "No way," the observer gasps. "This kid is actually bullying a B-ranker. He is totally glued to the fight. He has never seen such a prodigy." He notices Ukami is just spamming basic attacks now, which is weird. His usual pro moves are gone, must be that nasty mind control. But still, Ukami swings a massive beast claw, but Ikoma dodges it like a pro. His opponent is getting twitchy, so Ikoma starts switching up his flow. The moment he cranks up the local gravity, Ukami gets flattened against the dirt like a pancake. Then comes a heavy follow-up hit that really stings. Ikoma walks up and asks, "Hey, your head feeling any clearer yet?" Ukami looks dazed. "Wait, are we still doing that training match or what?" Then he loses it. He screams, "I am going to kill you," in rage. Nope, he gets smacked again, but that brainwashing's holding on tight. Ikoma readies his blade, noting this guy's level is actually higher than his. "Sorry, man, gloves are coming off," he says. "Nothing personal, okay?" He leaps into the air, prepping a massive strike right over Ukami. He lands a direct hit. Ikoma boosts gravity from above to really crush him. Meteor drop activate eject. He slams down with the force of a falling star. Ukami howls in pain. To end it, Ikoma cleanly severs his right arm. He snips the leg ligaments too, making sure this guy stays put. Ikoma catches his breath while the bald guy just stares in awe. The veteran's mind is blown. Just how strong is this kid? He realizes the boy was actually holding back to spare a B-ranker. Hosa and Satsuki catch up, huffing about his speed. "Sorry, I was rushing." He casually explains that some classes are just built for speed guys. The bald man tells the lady, "Quick, let's get everyone to safety." Ikoma shook his head, knowing they were completely out of time. A two-headed summoner fox was closing in, making an evacuation impossible. Satsuki and Hosa watched the creature with a sense of dread. The beast roared, sending a powerful shockwave through the entire area. Ikoma gripped his weapon, finally getting serious about the situation. The monster cackled mockingly while Satsuki recoiled from its hideous form. He quickly summoned his system menu to scan the beast's stats. It was a level 55 summoner fox from the Temple of Beasts. Its level was far higher than what the official record suggested. The energy overflow had clearly triggered a sudden powerful evolution. Ikoma realized he had no clue what new skills it possessed. Hosa asked if defeating this beast would finally end the disaster. "Yes," he replied, "but taking it down won't be easy at all." The fox howled, summoning a pack of level 30 phantom wolves. Snarling wolves quickly surrounded Ikoma, Satsuki, and their companion Hosa. Satsuki gasped, realizing the monster had summoned an entire army. She worried about the devastation this overflow would cause the people. The monster kept laughing, and Hosa noticed it was actually having fun. Ikoma asked the ladies to handle the mobs while he advanced. "Wait, what do you plan to do?" Satsuki asked, looking concerned. He intended to blitz the boss and end the overflow immediately. Hosa paused for a moment before letting out a bright laugh. She joked that while it sounded impossible, he just might succeed. Accepting the mission, they prepared to protect the injured and weak. Ikoma charged forward while the women shielded his path from behind. Captain Kurokawa watched in horror at the boys' reckless plan. Facing a level 55 boss alone without backup was pure madness. Two spectral wolves howled as Ikoma sprinted toward the boss. He vaulted over the wolves while the girls guarded the ground. "I'm counting on you," he yelled, and Satsuki gave her word. He blurred toward the monster as it activated a poltergeist skill. Chunks of buildings and debris began swirling in the air violently. Ikoma watched the floating rubble, admitting the skill looked quite flashy. Kurokawa shouted, baffled, that a monster could use such high-level magic. The fox smirked, readying a massive wave of flying debris. Shards of stone shot toward Ikoma at a terrifyingly high speed. Satsuki screamed his name while Hosa feared he couldn't dodge them. Amidst the chaos, Ikoma remained perfectly calm and focused. A wolf lunged, but Ikoma saw the fox was just mocking them. He realized the beast saw humans as toys and moved faster. He danced between the debris, closing the distance to the boss. Kurokawa gaped at the boy, stunned by his unbelievable movement speed. He had never seen a hunter move with such fluid precision. Ikoma smiled, thankful for the thief skills from his previous life. He continued his rapid assault as the fox began grinding its teeth. "Feeling a bit nervous now that your ultimate move failed," Ikoma teases. "Those two nasty heads are absolutely fuming with rage." As he closes in, the beast lets out a truly ear-splitting roar. Touching the final rock, Ikoma triggers his gravity-defying magic. He launches the boulder right into its maw with a thunderous boom. The monster crunches the stone, but man, that had to hurt. Popping up beside it, he politely notes its lack of defense. Time to turn up the heat with a massive Grante blast. The attack lands perfectly, leaving the monster screaming in the light. Kurokawa can't believe his eyes. He just soloed a level 55 boss. Who is this mysterious young man anyway? He's clearly a top-tier hunter. Meanwhile, Ikoma stays focused on the goal. Defeat the boss, close the gate, and save the day. No time for breaks. Hosa watches the intense showdown with bated breath. Raising his blade, our hero vows to end this fight fast. Rubble floats ominously as the monster's fury reaches its peak. Falling debris rains down, but he dances through it like a pro. Strong but clumsy. He quips easily, dodging every wild swing. He touches down for a split second before leaping back up. In a flash, he's hovering right over the beast's heads. Ikoma channels his energy to crank the gravity up to 11. He drops a literal meteor of rubble right on its head. Direct hit. The monster howls as the impact shakes its spine. It struggles to track him while he keeps the heavy pressure on. "Did you think I'd be a sitting duck up here?" He laughs. He circles the beast with the grace of a seasoned veteran. Being a gravity user means the sky is his personal playground. The heads growl, but the fun is definitely over for them. Without missing a beat, he dives back in for more. Honestly, fighting big beast types is way simpler than dealing with those tricky, human-like enemies and their fancy skills. He slashes again, drawing blood as the creature shrieks in pain. He's definitely winning, but he knows he can't get cocky. This monster's level is still way higher than his own. Plus, his mana bar is starting to look dangerously low. Its defenses are tough, and it's being surprisingly aggressive for its rank. He's safe for now, but no mana means no more dodging. Should he start playing it safe to save some energy? No way. If it starts regenerating, he'll never finish this fight. He thinks about calling Satsuki and Hosa over for help, but big area of effect attacks would just take them out instantly. Besides, their job is to look after the injured survivors. Using his past life wisdom, he calculates the battle's grim odds. Between its high health and recovery, this summoner type is a tank. If he hits 0 mana, it's officially game over for him. Our hero recalls the sheer grind to trap this big baddie. Logic says run, but his heart says level up. He moves. Hosa worries this overflow will just wreck the whole neighborhood. Ikoma's eyes lock in. He grins, knowing a true pro never bails on the loot. He charges straight at the beast. Time for efficiency. He moves with that sweet pro agility. Soaring high, he remembers the long journey to reach his friends. "I've done crazier stuff." Boom, direct hit. Gravity strikes. The monster howls as the heavy weight crushes. It flinches terrified while one angry head glares with pure fury. Talk about overkill. The boss summons a ghostly phantom squad. Ikoma sighs. More adds, this boss loves its minions. He spots the fox is still packing serious mana reserves. But it's burning energy. It starts chucking rubble like a poltergeist. Chief Kurokawa shouts in shock. Unlimited skills. No solo hunter can survive that mana spamming. Husha despairs. He can't solo this, Satsuki yells. We have to help. He's in trouble, yet the monster looks the most scared. The beast snarls, launching phantom wolves right at him. He grips his blade, channeling every bit of energy. With pro reflexes, he weaves through, deleting phantoms instantly. He lands a massive swing right on the boss. It screams. Ukami gapes, wondering how a rookie moves like that. The monster snarls, but Ikoma sees the opening. Guard down. He leaps high, taking the ultimate high ground. That creepy back eye couldn't track his lightning-fast movement. Talk about a blind spot. Time to end this encounter. Meteor drop. He slams down, hitting that demonic eye center. The boss lets out a wail and hits the pavement. The form dissolves. Finally, he can breathe and smile. The city looks a mess, covered in monster-sized wreckage. He holds his sword as the level-up screen pops up. Jackpot, huge XP and 6 levels in one go. With the boss defeated, he hits level 44 with 23 skill points. Score. Phantoms vanish, and the sun finally shines on the city. Ikoma looks back. Man, that was intense, a high-stakes training session. His mana bar is empty. He bet the farm there. Satsuki cheers. Is the overflow over? Did we win? Hosa wonders if she finally helped save someone. A memory of her father's hug warms her heart. Kurokawa's stunned. A solo kill. Who is this kid? Later that day, the crew arrived at the guild. The clerk marveled that a C ranker stopped the overflow solo. She bowed deeply, thanking the team for saving the city. Some hunters gossiped about them beating a boss that stumped the pros. Satsuki quickly clarified that Ikoma was the true hero of the fight. The modest guy blushed, saying he had plenty of help. Their support allowed him to save mana for the boss. Hosa chirped, feeling like a brand new viral superstar. Ikoma sighed, bummed they didn't film the epic battle. She snapped that vlogging a disaster is bad taste. The boy realized she could actually be quite sensible. However, Hosa noted that many people were still injured. Serizawa walked past, moving through the hall with a friend. He brooded over the chaos that even elites couldn't stop. He wondered what would happen without that mysterious savior. Whispers filled the hall as everyone recognized the boss slayers. Serizawa froze, spotting Ikoma in the crowd. The boy recognized him while Serizawa stared in total shock. He stammered, asking if this kid really conquered the boss. He remembered his earlier insults and felt like a fool. He laughed, admitting he had zero eye for real talent. In his hospital bed, Ukami recalled being the monster's puppet. He cursed the C-rank brat who chopped his arm off. He seethed, hearing people claim the kid saved the day. Plus, he vowed Ikoma would pay for that missing limb. Ukami promised to use his clout to destroy the boy. But Chief Kurokawa arrived, saying he owed Ikoma his life. Subduing a B rank without killing them is a miracle. Without Ikoma, the man would be in a grave. Furious, Ukami barked, asking how they dared mock him. Then he asked why they were even there. Kurokawa invited a guest in, leaving Ukami completely speechless. The visitor was a high-ranking monster eradication officer. Ukami panicked, remembering he used those soldiers as human shields. He felt pure bitterness for finally getting caught. Kurokawa confronted him, regarding the skill that turned allies into mindless bait. Manipulating someone's mind without consent is a serious felony. Abandoning your troops in danger is even more unforgivable. Ukami was warned that portal crimes carry massive prison time. The villain exploded, cursing every person around him. Later, Ikoma's rank up was rejected. Wait, is the system broken? The clerk gave a polite bow, noting that the guild really values its members' feedback. She mentioned a 3-month wait since his last attempt was rejected. Our hero was shocked since he was already level 44. The attendant smiled kindly and suggested he come back later. But he knew that in 3 months, that secret library would be totally picked clean. He felt a bit grumpy that his plans were getting derailed. Satsuki piped up, calling him a local legend who'd beaten everyone. But sadly, the clerk explained that rules are rules regardless of the past. He told his friend to just let it go. Knowing the desk staff couldn't change the laws, still he wouldn't quit. He thought about the ancient ring that could change their destiny. Getting that promotion was his only real shot. Suddenly, a familiar voice cut through the awkward silence. Even the receptionist looked completely caught off guard. It was the big boss himself, Vice Master Serizawa. Our hero asked if he was serious, but things were complicated. The guild had to worry about their reputation and other hunters. To make it worse, even the guildmaster might say no. Serizawa stepped in, having already checked the official reports. He realized the previous rejection was just a personal grudge. He believed that making such a talent wait would be a tragedy. He promised to handle the guildmaster's temper tantrums later. Our hero music was confused why a stranger would take such a big risk. Serizawa explained that their job is protecting the world first. He remembered a past disaster that they could have prevented. He was truly grateful to our hero for stopping the carnage. The Vice Master reached out a hand, offering his full support. With a happy grin, they shook hands and made it official. Back at the front desk, the duo waited for the final paperwork to go through. Finally, the approval stamp hit the page with a satisfying thud. Satsuki cheered, celebrating his epic leap to B-rank status. She could hardly believe he reached the big leagues so fast. Our hero just gave a cool smirk, looking totally confident. He realized he was growing even faster than in his previous life. He stayed sharp and focused on the path ahead, feeling like everything was moving at lightning speed now. Satsuki asked if he was happy, and he gave a warm nod. But a tiny bit of worry started to creep in. Stopping one disaster was good, but a B-rank gate is scary, especially with Mora sitting right in the line of fire. Since he's a regressor, he definitely would have remembered this from his past life. He assumes this event is brand new, wondering if his time travel changed the timeline. He eventually concludes that the dungeons might just be manifesting differently this time around. Honestly, our hero still isn't quite sure how he even traveled back in time, so maybe he's just witnessing a classic case of the butterfly effect. Still, a strange sense of dread lingers. He sighs, falling back into his habit of staying negative. Regardless, he pumps his fist, totally stoked because he finally got his big promotion. Suddenly, Ikoma's phone chirps with a massive breaking news notification on the screen. He tenses up, realizing the specific gate he's been waiting for has finally appeared. The news report officially reveals the fabled Library of Illusions, a dungeon that just manifested in Kanagawa only a few minutes ago. Satsuki asks if this is the legendary gate he mentioned, and he happily confirms it. He's certain the boss's Ring of Wisdom is the key to stopping future disasters. But Satsuki remembers that B-rank gates require official registration and skill testing first. Grinning, he says he's signing up now and asks if she's ready to roll. Blushing with excitement, she chirps back that she is definitely coming along. The scene shifts to a massive imposing building with a very serious official vibe. Inside, an elderly man sits alone until his phone begins to buzz with a call. He explains the gate is appearing and the boss's treasure must stay with them. The caller suggests just snatching the item and blocking the gate entirely. But the old man tells them not to be so ridiculous. He can't risk raising suspicion. He needs a perfectly valid justification for his actions. The man muses about his many loyal dogs while a bluebird chirps away, caged up. But he decides to hire outside mercenaries instead of using his own men yet. Standing up, he orders his staff to contact the Chimera's Fang immediately. Their mission: slay the boss, destroy the loot, and eliminate every hunter inside. That way, they can falsify the records without ever getting their own hands dirty. Suddenly, a polite knock at the door interrupts him while he's checking his phone. He turns around, looking quite bored with the interruption, and simply tells the person outside to come in. A young man enters, reporting on the ministry's current state of readiness. Noticing the phone, the youth asks if he's arrived at an awkward time. He tells him it was nothing important, so there's no need to worry. But his aura is sinister. Meet Kurabi-ho, the Minister of Monster Eradication. Next, a high-speed train whisks our heroes toward their very important destination. Inside, Ikoma and Satsuki are sitting together, heading to the guild to register. Satsuki asks about the Library of Illusions, and he describes it as a massive archive. Within, besides various magical monsters, there is a terrifying level, 60 boss monster waiting. She gets worried, but he flashes a confident grin and says, they'll be fine. He's already planned out the perfect strategy to take the boss down. They finally touch down at the Hunters Guild branch in the city of Uramu. But upon arrival, Ikoma is stunned. Why on earth can't they enter the portal? The snide receptionist explains that solo adventuring is officially off the table today. She insists that while other branches might be lax, this rule is final. She notes that their branch has seen way too many casualties and the guildmaster hates having bad publicity. Ikoma fumes, warning that banning soloists just makes the portal more unstable. He argues that a seasoned B-rank hunter should get a special permit. But she just shrugs and says, the cleanup crew handles portal stability. Then she mocks him for only recently being promoted to B-rank status. She adds that his C-rank partner is basically just a useless third wheel. Suddenly, a mysterious man in a hat asks if they're seeking a grand adventure. He introduces himself as C. Jagoya, a level 43 holy priest hunter. This B-rank healer wants to tackle the portal with a truly talented crew. Ikoma is thrilled. A priest is the perfect addition to their party puzzle. He wanted to level up Satsuki before the boss, and this solves everything. Yet, our hero can't help but feel this new guy is pretty sketchy. Satsuki, however, is just delighted they can finally enter the portal together. He touches Satsuki's face, asking if her partner is named Ikoma. Then he invites all nearby B-rank hunters to join his elite raiding party. Satsuki feels awkward and asks if a C-rank like her can come too. The priest stays silent for a second, making the whole vibe super uncomfortable. He notes she's an enchanter, a tricky class, while flashing a very creepy smile. He bluntly finishes by saying he doesn't carry any useless baggage along. Satsuki is crushed, so Ikoma stands firm. If she stays, he stays too. The priest glares, clearly hating Ikoma's knight in shining armor protective routine. He accuses Akuma of using Satsuki as an excuse to seize party leadership. See, Jagoya claims his two attackers are serious about this dangerous mission, but Ikoma points out that an enchanter's mana buffs are totally essential. The cleric pauses for a moment, carefully weighing the logic of Ikoma's bold argument. He gives a small smirk and agrees to let the young girl join. So Si Jagoya suggests swapping phone numbers to coordinate their upcoming raid. He waves goodbye, promising to register everyone and meet at the gate. Later, the two friends sit on a bench anxiously awaiting the signal. Satsuki is still worried, wondering if working with that guy is a mistake. Akuma pulls out his phone and agrees that Priest is definitely a demanding character, right? But despite the weird vibes, he thinks they can trust their new ally. He figures a straightforward guy is better than a sneaky backstabber later on. Ikoma promises he won't let any trouble start. But Satsuki is still shaking, hoping their luck holds out this time. Besides, 3 high-rank allies are their only hope of beating the final boss. The scene shifts. And now the whole squad is gathered at a very spooky-looking entrance. Shion slams her scythe down, fuming that the deal has changed. The hunter. Sion grills Sage about why he invited such bottom-tier classes. He explains it's just red tape to get guild approval, claiming she knew the score. But she snaps back that he's a liar for hiding their weak stats. With a grin, C notes, they're just warm bodies to fill the roster requirements. He says Ikoma's level is actually decent. But Satsuki is basically a tag-along freebie. Satsuki is just happy to join, though. The team's vibe is totally awkward. She leans over to Ikoma, whispering if he thinks they'll actually survive this. Ikoma already found the priest annoying, but these new teammates are even worse. Suddenly, Shion turns around to lay down the law for the entire group. She warns that if they try to grab loot without working, she'll end them. Ikoma shrugs, saying he's fine with getting paid more for doing more work. Shion loses it at his smug tone, calling him a total arrogant jerk. She turns to her partner Hyuga to see if he's as annoyed as she is. Hyuga just sighs, saying he doesn't care as long as they don't trip everyone up. Ikoma notes their levels are high, but the party chemistry is a complete mess. Still being the first ones in a portal means snagging the best rare drops. Shion agrees, but still wishes the priest had picked a better team compy. Ikoma figures it doesn't really matter now, since he didn't exactly have better options himself. C claps his hands, ending the bickering since they needed a crew fast. With the drama settled, he leads the way into the Library of Illusions. The priest is clearly full of himself, desperate to prove his squad is elite. Meanwhile, Shion and Hyuga keep acting like the new recruits are invisible. Amidst all the tension, Ikoma just hopes this raid doesn't end in a disaster. The dungeon entrance shimmers as the words Library of Illusions appear in the air. The party finally steps inside, cautiously making their way down the main hall. Sage notes it's a high-rank dungeon, but the decor is surprisingly classy. He beams, thinking this rare find will finally make them famous. Shion checks if their names were Ikoma and Satsuki, her tone ice-cold. She reminds them they're only there as human music. Shields, so they shouldn't try any heroics. Ikoma fires back that his level beats hers and they didn't travel for nothing. Fuming, Shion screams, asking if he really just dared to talk back to her. He calmly clarifies that they're just making sure they get their fair share of loot. Shion knows they're just here for the head count and promises not to attack yet. She scoffs and turns away, glad he at least knows they don't need his help. Satsuki looks worried, but Ikoma tells her to just focus on clearing the floor. He keeps a poker face at music, already mapping out their next moves. He's certain that sooner or later this group will be begging for their help. Suddenly, Sage spots something odd and looks shocked after opening a mysterious book. He admits the language is a mystery, likely a secret dialect of this realm. We learn that besides special items and demon stones, every other object from these portals vanishes in the outside world. In the future, scholars only managed to find civilizational gaps between these worlds. No script formed a real language, and no theory had any solid proof. But this library's ring of wisdom is a rare treasure with every answer. Ikoma's eyes light up. He's determined to get that ring no matter what. Suddenly, a wildfire spell erupts, catching everyone off guard. Sage shouts quickly, summoning a shield to block the flames. The spell slams into his barrier, creating a massive bone-shaking impact on the site. And then the hidden enemy finally steps into the light. It is a level 40 librarian goblin, and it is ready to rumble. Hiro activates Shadow Walk, appearing behind the monster in a literal blink of an eye. With a swift backstab, he deletes the goblin before it can even react. Music. The creature flops lifelessly right in front of Ikoma, who just watches the show. Sage claps for Hiru's amazing technique, but the ninja tells him to skip flattery. He turns to the duo, telling them to collect stones to be actually useful. Cyan reminds them that their only job is gathering those demon stones. But Satsuki grumbles that she didn't even get a chance to help out. Cyan snaps in disbelief. She yells it wasn't her turn, making Satsuki apologize instantly. Right at that moment, Ikoma notes how strong they are, perfectly timing their flashy skills during battle. However, those professional ninja moves have our hero lost in deep thought. He stares at the ninja until it clicks. He finally knows who this guy is. So he approaches the ninja to confirm if his name is Hiru Gasai. The ninja glares back, asking who gave this kid permission to use his name. Seeing the tension, Satsuki panics, wondering why he's bothering such a scary guy. Our hero ignores her, replaying that shadow walk and legendary backstab in his mind. He grins like a fanboy, realizing this guy is definitely a high-level rogue. Satsuki is totally lost and confused, only able to stammer out Ikoma's name. Then he explains to the ninja that he'll need more power for bosses. So he suggests with a cheeky grin that the ninja try these pro-level skills. Hiru is just baffled, wondering what on earth is wrong with this lunatic. Ikoma advises him to distract enemies or team up with mages. Music. He says to decide fast, but an angry Hiru grabs him by the collar, roaring that he'll take his head off if he tries to help again. Satsuki asks why he spoke up, but Ikoma says he knows his rogues. He knows rogues lose power at high levels and wanted to save Hiru. Then Cyan calls him an idiot, explaining Hiru is a legendary rogue hunter. Ikoma recalls his past life, where he was the kingdom's most legendary rogue. He gives a sad little smile, knowing they'd never believe his secret anyway. Meanwhile, Hiru feels uneasy as this was meant to be a rare portal. He mumbles to himself that everything here is feeling just way too easy. Sage claims his strength justifies his team spot. Suddenly, the ninja spots a fast-moving shadow. A level 45 pocket watch rabbit monster appears nearby. Hiru notes the high level while Ikoma pales. This beast can annihilate entire parties with ease. Ikoma suggests a detour to avoid close-range combat. But who snaps, calling him a bossy weakling? Ikoma panics, knowing the rabbit's skill spells instant doom. Hiru ignores him, approaching the fluffy yet deadly foe. Protecting everyone while fighting is quite a challenge. Hiru strikes, but the bunny senses the danger. Right then, I scream for him to stop immediately. The bunny leaps as Hu prepares his blade. The monster dodges with lightning-fast speed and agility. Hu stares shocked by the tiny creature's quickness. Suddenly, the rabbit glows, activating its dash skill. It vanishes, leaving the hunter cursing its escape. Hu grins, imagining the rare boss loot drops. Since he started this, he'll finish it. Ikoma's expression turns quite grave now. He's helping defeat this rabbit today. Stay sharp, its skills are absolutely lethal. She scoffs, confused by Ikoma's frantic warning. It's only level 45, we'll be fine. Then his eyes widen, worrying about secret skills. Hugh barks at the rabbit, calling it trash. Hiru lunges, but the creature is way faster. I shout again for him to stop. Ikoma teleports in, blocking the strike just in time. Ikoma sighs while the bunny fumes. He grabs its paw as dark energy surges. One heavy kick sends the monster screaming back. Gravity magic gives him the ultimate aerial edge. The rabbit pouts quite crossly. Stop acting cute, you cursed little furball. Hu walks up, catching his breath slowly. Close call, he thinks, eyeing Ikoma's amazing timing. Rabbit dashes again, fleeing to call for backup. It's setting a trap, summoning a whole mob. I'll take 3, you handle the rest. She stammers, trying to defend his slow reaction. Listen or we die. Ikoma ends the debate. We learn this rabbit is lightning fast and seriously clever. Fighting its sneak attacks is basically a total nightmare. Even Hu, our top-tier pro, barely escaped with his life. Meanwhile, poor Cyan is struggling. He's shaking like a leaf and completely losing his cool. Then we have C and Satsuki, our lovely but non-combative supports. Cyan panics, shouting that taking on 3 monsters is pure madness. But Satsuki stays positive, trusting her friend's crazy but clever strategy. She rallies everyone, promising to crush their foe and save Ikoma. Suddenly, a magic book zooms toward our hero, ready to bite. Ikoma pulls off a smooth dodge, showing some seriously impressive reflexes. These flying book monsters are super tricky since they ignore gravity. Plus, they can blast you from far away. Their long-range magic hits like a heavy truck. Ikoma needs eyes in his back to avoid that sneaky rabbit. He sighs at the bad odds, but his fighting spirit ignites. Honestly, he loves it when things get this intense. Grinning, he calls them garbage and prepares to shred some paper. That rabbit just smirks, clearly enjoying the spicy trash talk. 3 magic books swarm Ikoma at once, trying to trap him. Sage jumps into action, casting a sturdy shield for the group. Boom. The attacks hit the barrier, but it holds up perfectly. Cyan goes all out, jumping toward the enemy with total focus. Her scythe slices right through the enemy monster. She rips a page out, noting how tough these books are. Plus, she knows that annoying Bunny is still lurking nearby. She fumes, wondering how that idiot plans to survive this mess. Then, Ikoma counters, driving his blade deep into a magic book. He casts spells mid-flight while the enemies charge up their magic. His eyes glow as he cleverly lowers gravity around the area. He hops onto a book, using it to dodge a blast. He fires a purple beam midair, blasting a monster right away. He lands like a pro, smirking after deleting his first foe. Next, he activates his epic meteor fall skill. He crashes down right on the last monster. The book shatters, and a notification pings with fresh experience. One down. He mutters though the chaos is just beginning. Satsuki hurls a shadow ball to shake off her pursuer. Hiru joins in, piercing another grimoire with a lightning-fast stab. The girls cheer, thrilled to have crushed those summoned pests. However, the rabbit clicks its pocket watch. A pink light flashes as new monsters fill the ranks. Ikoma notes that the bunny commands 4 monsters total. It's just swapping out its broken toys for new ones. Satsuki panics, shouting that these monster waves feel totally endless. Yikes, 2 more beasties are zooming right toward poor Cyan. She readies her stance, yelling, "Don't think I'm some easy level 1 newbie." Seeing the heat, Ikoma shouts for Sand to take cover behind the tank. But she huffs, admitting he's a pretty decent teammate. But he shouldn't underestimate her. She shouts that she'll solo both of them right now. She winds up for a massive spin attack, but she freezes. Wait, did you guys hear that weird noise? Haru jumps back. That cute bunny suddenly has a super creepy face. Sand looks over but only sees the fluffy rabbit, acting totally innocent. The creature taps its foot, acting like it made that boingy sound. C suspects a trap. He screams for everyone to move fast. Too slow. A flying book monster chomps right onto her waist. She cries out as the sneak attack slams her into the dirt. The beast holds on tight, its heart, teeth sinking deep. Man, that looks like it really hurts. She panics, thinking it's game over, but then Ikoma heroically arrives. He warns they've got to pry this thing off her by force. He readies a strike, apologizing because this might sting a bit. Eyes glowing, he casts Grant Magic to summon a purple gravity orb. The spell squashes the monster, forcing it to finally let go of Cyan, finally free from those fangs. She collapses, dropping her scythe while clutching her side in pain. Phew, I'm still alive, she thinks, but that was way too close. The other book monster is shaking in its boots, totally freaked out. Ikoma slashes at the last baddie while Sand tries to recover. He calls for a healer, and Segi chirps, "I'm on it, boss." Satsuki worries that their team setup is falling apart. We're trapped. Things look grim with the party split and Ikoma facing the last foe. But wait, that bunny's magic is eating up tons of mana. Ikoma locks eyes with the rabbit. Knowing the little guy realizes his time is running out too. The monster panics, needing to finish this before its mana hits 0. Ikoma cranks up the gravity, pinning that evil book to the floor. But its cover is reinforced. It snaps its teeth, forcing Ikoma back. Time for plan B. He goes for a low-angle stab instead, shouting loudly. He channels every bit of magic into one last blast. A gravity bomb rockets forward at lightning speed. It hits the book square in the face. No blocking that. Bullseye experience points unlocked. Satsuki cheers as the monster crumbles to dust. "Nice job, let's keep this momentum going," she shouts happily. But C warns he's overextended. Watch out for that bunny ninja. C yells for him to regroup before he gets totally swarmed. Suddenly the rabbit teleports behind him with a really scary grin. But Ikoma expected that he flips gravity and leaps right over it. That little bunny looks totally confused. Our hero just blinks right out of existence. Turns out this clever rabbit was targeting the leader first. Trapped, the monster was just waiting for a blind spot. Akuma knew it would bite the bait and fall for it. The plan works. He charges full speed ahead at the startled bunny. Whoa, that creature has some seriously fast reflexes. He swings his blade in a massive sweeping arc. Darn, Ikoma grumbles, since the beast survived that strike. The goal was heavy gravity followed by a smash. But the rabbit's speed forced a wide missing swing. Ouch, Who gets chomped by a book but stays cool. C's shield is cracking. Their defense is almost gone. The team warns they can't take much more pressure. Akuma must end this fight right now. He sprints to break the spell, but it's elusive. The bunny smirks, thinking it's 2 steps ahead. Then our hero lets out a shout. He calls his magic Grante and attacks again. It uses Rabbit Rush to leap over the blast. It even holds up a scorecard to mock him. Surprise, the gravity sphere starts sucking everything inside. The rabbit is slammed down by the heavy magic. He tells the bunny he planned this all along. That jump was actually its biggest mistake. Trapped, the rabbit rages with a truly sinister face. He finishes it off, level up for our hero. The summoner's finally gone. Those monster books just flop onto the floor. The girls sigh in relief. The danger is over. She's so glad the spell broke and they survived. Cyan is tearing up, barely believing they actually won. Satsuki gives her a warm, comforting smile. But Cyan yells, "It's just dust in my eyes." C apologizes for doubting him. He really stepped up. He admits they were goners without Ikoma's help. Suddenly, He spots a mysterious book. What's this loot? It's a demon stone and a rare skill drop. The Rabbit Rush book is worth 10 million gold. Sege is totally floored by that huge amount. That's 2 million each. Everyone is getting hyped. Wait, maybe they should head back and rest first. They're low on mana and definitely need to heal. Alright, time to get serious. That Ring of Wisdom is way too precious to lose. Music. That bunny was a total nightmare, but luckily Sege is here to patch everyone up. He mentions a super simple mana trick, which definitely catches C's attention. Poor Satsuki is shaking from old memories, pleading with Ikoma to skip the scary stuff. Apparently, the Librarian Goblin is a mana-draining pro, much to Satsuki's horror. C checks in with the team and gives the thumbs up to keep exploring. Hiru's all in. He's never been the type to back down from a fun challenge. He thinks Ikoma is actually pretty handy. He's already planning how to use him. Meanwhile, Cyan is totally fuming. She shouts, asking if they've already forgotten how close they came to disaster. She teases her about being a scaredy cat, but she insists she's totally fine. Cut to the portal entrance. Some big shots are huddled up discussing the mission. A fancy identification card gets flashed. He explains the elite security squad is arriving, which leaves the guard completely stunned. He suddenly realizes this guy is from the guild headquarters. He quickly apologizes and snaps a respectful salute to his new superior. The girl grumbles about red tape and literally snaps the identification card in half. She tosses it aside as her partner sighs about how messy portal laws can be. Her skills were helpful, but that poor identification card is currently on the floor. Eris wonders why they're trashing loot from a boss that nobody's even spotted yet. He shrugs it off, saying they're just here to follow the boss's orders. He tells her to drop the illusion so they can save mana for the mission. She grumbles, calling Gyokyo a total teacher's pet for always following every single rule. He stands firm, orders are orders, and they're doing this by the book. Eris smirks, confident that no one's clearing this portal before her. Then her partner reveals himself. Meet Hunter, Gyokyo Goku, a powerful level 54 warrior. And level 57 Eris Yumakawa is itching for a fight. Boom. A massive book demon jumps out and lets out a terrifying roar. Cyan totally panics, letting out a loud scream at the creepy monster. Ikoma springs into action to keep her safe. He deflects the beast's strike and tells Cyan to run for cover immediately. Right then, our hero lunges forward, slicing the monster's arm as it tries to counterattack. The demon suddenly stretches its weird body. It's a bizarre move that catches everyone off guard. Ikoma notes that Cyan's nerves are still a bit rattled from that bunny fight. Seeing her chance, Satsuki leaps in and activates her Shadow Hand spell. Dark tentacles erupt from the ground, snaring the surprised demon in its tracks. She uses the shadows to give that monster a massive heavy slam. The creature howls in agony as the attack hits home. Victory Satsuki levels up, and you can see the new fire in her eyes. She's really growing, and that new skill is a total game changer for combat. Ikoma grumbles about mana efficiency, but hey, the job's done. He gives Satsuki a thumbs up for her hard work before stepping away to finish the job. Grinning like a pro, she waves at Cyan, totally rocking her new level up vibes. Satsuki tells her to back off, but Ikoma just gives her the ultimate annoyed look. Cyan jumps back, totally startled. She claims it was an accident, but Ikoma shuts her down, so she fumbles for an excuse. She just tripped and needed balance. Then she death stares Satsuki, wondering why she's being judged so hard. Cyan finally says thanks, but warns that this is the absolute last time she's being nice. Across the hall, C screams, "Shield, huh?" and pops a glowing barrier against the incoming magic. Haru stumbles in, covered in red, shouting because those injuries look seriously painful. Ikoma shouts that only one mob remains, and everyone locks eyes on the final target. Haru moves instantly. He lunges at the Librarian Goblin, ignoring everything else. She panics, reminding him that Ikoma's orders were to keep this last monster breathing. Haru tunes him out and parries the Goblin's staff with a quick dagger move. He tosses his blade and tells Sai to pipe down since he already knows the plan. With one quick pull, he snatches the Goblin's collar, leaving the poor creature totally wide open. This goblin is a walking mana battery, making it the perfect snack for Satsuki. Ikoma realizes Haru is the real deal and wonders why such a pro is here. The goblin slumps on the floor, weak and ready for Satsuki's big move. She uses Mana Drain, sending all the monster's energy over to Sage. He's totally hyped, cheering because his barrier skill is officially back online, looking at the empty goblin. They decide to keep exploring, but Ikoma warns the group that catching monsters isn't easy, so they shouldn't expect this every time. Nods gives him a friendly shoulder pat and thanks him for the massive carry. Staring down the corridor, they realize they're finally nearing the portal's heart. Ikoma suggests it might be time to head straight for the big boss. Haru thinks that's a fantastic plan, looking totally ready for a scrap, though Cyan is worried it's a bit too reckless. He teases her about being scared, which she denies instantly. Naturally, SI gets serious, recalling that taking down the boss was always his true goal. He realizes the experience points they've banked are way beyond his original expectations. Then Ikoma reveals a secret item that leaks all the boss monster's stats. C is shocked, wondering if this means they actually have a shot at winning. Hunting a rank B boss would look amazing on his official hunter resume. He dreams of fame, imagining all the elite parties begging him to join. However, Ikoma asks for a favor. He wants to claim all the boss loot for himself. He offers the group all the mana stones instead, which leaves Sage stunned by the offer. Ikoma says Satsuki is already on board and offers extra cash, making C suspicious. He wonders if the item is legendary for Ikoma to want it this much. Then he remembers they still have that sweet skill book gold to divvy up. 10 million gold has him totally entranced, making Cyan wonder if he's lost it. What's his deal? She puts Hiru on the spot, asking if he's really planning to ditch the team. Grumbling Cyan joins in, but she declares their debt is officially paid in full. Ikoma finds her loyalty quite charming, especially after all the chaos they've endured. We cut to a sun-drenched hall where a mysterious lady stands bathed in light. Meet Akasha, the final boss and true mistress of this illusory library. The team arrives at the boss's chamber as Ikoma warns of the beast within. He reminds them stick to the plan. She's stationary, but packs a massive punch. Hiru and Sion take a breath as Ikoma tells them to just keep cool. C is already grinning, totally confident, picturing himself as a legendary hunter conquering a rank B gate. Sion isn't buying it, questioning if they can really trust some random magic item. Satsuki points out her sudden change of heart, but Sion insists her gut feels off. She points at Ikoma, demanding to know why everyone trusts him when he hasn't explained a thing. C stands up for our hero, arguing that everyone has secrets and Ikoma definitely isn't the lying type. Sion huffs in frustration, but Hiru declares he's not backing down from any boss. Ikoma offers a way out, saying they can all leave right now if they're nervous. Flustered Sion yells that she isn't scared, she just doesn't trust him yet. Satsuki tries to soothe her, promising that he and Hiru will have her back. She glares at Hiru for underestimating her, but Ikoma calls it simple pre-boss jitters. Hiru is impressed by Ikoma's social skills, feeling their goal is finally within reach. Before the brawl, Ikoma decides it's high time to dump all his skill points at once. Checking his menu, he sees a 15-point price tag to upgrade his magic. Considering the boss, he bets that boosting his gravity magic is the winning move. Ding, his magic hits level 3, perfectly spending those 15 points he saved up. Suddenly, a notification pops up. He's just unlocked a brand new spell called Gravita. The description says it literally crushes his enemies into dust. Now that sounds like a very handy tool to have. He wears a satisfied grin, feeling totally ready with his new secret weapon. It's showtime. Ikoma slowly pushes open the massive doors to the boss room. The squad marches into the chamber, faces set and ready for a serious fight. Our hero takes a final step, his eyes burning with pure determination. Across the vast hall, the boss Akasha stands waiting with her back toward them. She turns slowly as her level 60 title appears in a flash of light. Such an intimidating presence. Hiru and Sion size her up, noting she's just standing there. For now. C readies his gear while Hiru shouts the orders, and Ikoma quickly agrees. Suddenly, the boss ignites a skill, radiating a terrifying surge of golden energy. A massive bolt of lightning strikes the group, catching everyone completely off guard. It turns out the magic item was spot on. She really does use lightning. Our hero notes that the lightning weakens over distance, explaining why it targeted the front. That's why those up front are the primary targets for her sparkly little gift. He zips forward instantly, using a bit of gravity magic to keep things light. Meanwhile, Haru's bandit reflexes kick in, showing off that impressive natural agility of his. Moving at this pace, Akasha won't even have a second to finish her next incantation. The game plan is simple: wait for her big move and strike during the cooldown. Satsuki doesn't miss her cue, channeling a massive orb of darkness through her staff. Sion follows up immediately, launching a wicked wave of energy right from her scythe. Both attacks land perfectly on the boss. The boss reels from the impact, but Akasha turns her icy gaze towards Satsuki. She vows that she won't forgive this slight. Our mage is stunned. She definitely didn't have Talking Monster on her bingo card today. Ikoma shouts a warning about a big area attack, telling Haru to retreat towards Sage. Haru isn't exactly a fan of bosses, but he plays along for the team's sake. Suddenly, the boss unleashes a massive tidal wave of flames, heading straight for the party. Sion starts to panic, realizing there's absolutely nowhere to hide from this inferno. Ikoma just grins, saying if we can't run, we'll just have to stand our ground. The party retreats as Sai steps into the spotlight. He tells everyone to stay back and leave the heavy lifting to him. He summons a radiant shield of light, effortlessly blocking the boss's massive wave of fire. Ikoma was right wide-range spells lose their bite when focused on a single point. He reassures the team that they can handle her tricks if they keep their wits. Since Akasha is stuck in one spot, her area attacks are actually pretty predictable. Ikoma rallies the group, shouting that they've got this if they just stay cool. Music. Haru and Sion feel the hype with Sion, grinning wide, confident they can win this. However, Haru thinks things are going too smoothly, maybe a few casualties would help his agenda. He casts a side glance at Ikoma, plotting his next move against the group leader. He is just too skilled. Ikoma stays locked on the boss, completely unaware of the snake lurking right beside him. Haru makes his choice. He'll take out Ikoma first before mopping up the others. Our boys stay on the front line, staring down Akasha and waiting for an opening. Suddenly, a bright blue energy swirls in her palms as she charges her next move. She manifests a massive blade of crackling electricity, the legendary Sword of Zeus. She slams the blade down with a thunderous crash. The resulting electrical surge vaporizes everything in its path. Ikoma evades the blast by a hair, already winding up for a counterstrike. Seeing his chance, he lunges forward, aiming a swift sword strike right at her. Akasha retreats quickly. She laughs at his speed, but he realizes she's clueless at close quarters. He taunts her, asking why a fancy mage like her isn't staying at a distance. From the rear, Sion cheers, noting how much smoother things are with the boys. Satsuki nods, amused by the boss's struggle, and remembering how jittery Sion was earlier. Sai watches closely. He admits that despite his earlier doubts, Ikoma's strategy is working like a charm. He's totally blown away by our hero's gutsy moves, despite the boss's lethal strikes. Even the priest gets goosebumps from Ikoma's veteran vibes. But watch out, Akasha is switching up her game plan now. She smashes the floor, creating a massive canyon right there in the room. Our guy notices she's getting desperate and changing her rhythm because she's losing. Ikoma realizes those pillars aren't just obstacles, they're actually the perfect places to play hide and seek. He shouts for the squad to close in, and Sion is totally on board immediately. The boss lets a massive lightning bolt fly, but Hiro smartly uses a pillar as cover. Right then, Sion and Satsuki use that safety to rain down even more attacks on Akasha. Sion starts trash-talking, thanking the boss for providing such convenient hiding spots. She mocks the little doll, saying those pillars were a huge tactical mistake for her. Oops, Ikoma spots Sion getting a bit too cocky, leaving herself wide open in a dangerous spot. But to him, that's actually a golden opportunity for his next big brain play. He starts sprinting her way. He's already yelling an apology for the incident that's about to happen. The poor girl is just confused by Ikoma's weird high-speed approach. Then stomp. He uses her back like a human trampoline to launch himself upward. With that boost, our hero flies through the air and sticks a perfect landing right on top of a pillar. Sion is absolutely fuming, screaming about being used as a literal step stool. He explains he needed the high ground to rain down some serious magical firepower. Time for a skill. He triggers Meteor Fall and crashes right onto the boss. It's a direct hit to the head, snapping off one of her horns like a twig. Seeing that, Sion cheers. She thinks they've won, but Ikoma keeps his cool, warning her that the fight is far from over. Akasha's health is tanking, but her defense is still insane. He tells the team victory is close if they keep pushing. Amidst all the chaos, Hiro sneaks up from behind, thinking about how scary Ikoma's growth is. With a super shady look, he decides our protagonist needs to be retired permanently and soon. Meanwhile, Akasha begins raising her arms to channel a brand new spell. A massive sphere of blue energy glows on the ceiling. This is going to hurt. Ikoma recognizes the move. It's a high-cost ultimate that can't be canceled once it starts. He realizes the boss has officially entered rage mode, which is why she's going nuclear. So our hero charges in, shouting that they have to take her down before the big blast. Luckily, Hiro and the gang are already in position on the other side to help out. The boss is frozen, and Hiro tosses a dagger, seemingly looking for the perfect finishing blow. But wait, he's aiming at Ikoma. Our hero barely parries the sudden backstab in total shock. Hiro is stunned. He definitely didn't expect Ikoma to have such god-tier reflexes. He quickly lies about his hand slipping, but Ikoma gives him a very suspicious side-eye. Our protagonist wonders if that accident was actually a cold-blooded murder attempt. But he chooses to prioritize the boss for now. Uh-oh. The boss is charging his big ultimate move.